What is up, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News, the only live call-in show on YouTube. Okay, not really, but it is one of the craziest news cycles we've ever had here today. We've been gone for Christmas, and we are going to catch up. First, we're going to be talking about some stuff that is extremely important, but then we're going to be talking about this. It is a asteroid or a meteor that came down by Guam. Kind of funny placement, if you ask me, considering what they're going to be placing on Guam and what has been said towards Guam. So we'll talk about that here in just a minute. We'll be right back with Marfoogle News, the only call-in show on YouTube. Just wanna go, yeah, do my Foogle, yeah. And Nancy Jones and Morgan True Love got to see. Now my Foogle love, just call in at 2244005, yeah. All right. So it's a general consensus that is not a meteor. I'm already seeing in the chat that there is a ton of people saying, no way. So just to let you guys know, you might not know this, but we also reported just a couple days ago that Japan accidentally sent out, or the news service in Japan, I apologize, sent out a missile alert saying that there was a missile headed towards Japan. Isn't that kind of funny? Just like 2 or 3 days ago, and then we see this off of Guam, which has also been said to be one of the places that NK was going to go after. Pretty funny timing and everything that goes around it. And if you remember, one of, the reason I'm actually here is because I got information on Hawaii, and I said that when I had no subscribers, there was no reason for me to even go on YouTube. Literally, I did a video stating that, my sister lived on Hawaii, and there was basically people that saw it out in the water on a tour boat, and this ended up going all over the place. The local news ended up interviewing them, cutting to commercial, and all of these Hawaiians went on my video. In fact, Dr. Michael Sala did a video on that, he did an article on that, which ended up starting a whole flurry of other videos based on that article, because it wasn't just me saying it, it was all of these Hawaiians confirming what I said, which was basically these islanders all saw something just go boom right out in the water. Now, of course, there was no meteor, right, in the Hawaii case, and in that case, they said it was a total accident. They said they pushed the wrong button, and then they said it was like a scroll down menu with 4 different warnings, and then they started saying that everybody was watching Netflix on their phone at the Hawaii Emergency Center. I mean, it was just absolutely dumb. So we'll talk about that later. That is one of our main things, because I think there is some big stuff going down right now. We are going to talk about that. We're going to hit that. We have so much more to talk about. But before we get started, oh my gosh, we have 3 different main enemies about to hold the joint naval drills. We've got NK doing all sorts of stuff. We've got spy planes doing things crazy. Hypersonic weapons, weird timing on that as well with this going down. The world's tallest active geyser won't stop erupting. This is huge stuff. I mean, it almost makes me want to do a show every 5 days, because, man, we have so much to talk about. Non-government drones doing grid formations, and these are big drones. These aren't like DJI Mavic Pros. These are like actual drones flying in formation over the states. That's pretty weird. So we're going to go over all that. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Foogle fam. First, I just want to show you guys, if you want to follow along and if you want to read any of these articles, we don't just say something without backing it up. And if we actually state a fact, then we give you the access to that. If you go to marfooglenews.com and you click on this thumbnail on the website, which it's very simple. It's made to be very, very easy. Go to the thumbnail from tonight's show. Everything will happen at once. And then down below, you will see that you will have every article that we're going to read tonight, including tweets and videos. And then later on, it will actually have caller info as well. It will have each and every caller, if they actually attach something, if they call in with an article, if they call in with a document and send it over, we will actually link that. Again, you can actually get notifications. If you do not get notifications through the platform, you can actually get them through us. We have made it so where the website actually allows you, it says show notifications if you press allow, or if you go to the bottom right-hand corner in some browsers, it will say subscribe. You will actually get notifications guaranteed on your laptop, phone, or whatever. And there's no terms of service. It's pretty easy. If you press allow, it's going to just give you notifications for our show or whatever whenever we post a show onto the website, which is every single time. So that way, you don't get a notification 3 days later and you're the last one to know the crazy news that's going on. So with that being said, we're going to introduce you to Dex real quick. Dex helps produce the show. He also screens the call. He's able, I have a whole screen that's devoted to Dex. He can actually connect you guys with me. If you have an article, a video that you want the rest of the Foogle family to see, he can actually put that on my screen and I can then show it to you. And then too, he was very high up in tech companies, like extremely high up, and he left out of it because he hated it. And we have him as an expert in that field, so if he has any kind of input, he goes into that as well. Dex, are you there? Let's do a sound check real quick.
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam. Glad to be back.
Yes, it's been like 5 days, I think, and it's like I've been itching to do a show, and we were going to try to do one yesterday. It just didn't work out. All the Christmases that everybody's going through, so.
Yeah, it's been a little crazy, a little hectic around my house as well with the holidays. I know everybody's been enjoying time with family, which is good.
So first off, I just want to say, Dustin Westphalen, thank you. Get ready to rumble, government and Earth rumble all at once. There's so much more. Like, I didn't even say half of the things we're going to talk about. There's some things that I do not have on there. Ashley Camp, thank you for subscribing. Anna, Lily's mom, China rocket booster burning up. Hey, that's actually a good theory. Thank you so much for the super chat as well. And then 1111, thank you for subscribing. We've got a lot of new people. Again, they just did another kind of purge on the platform. This channel was not hit as hard, but other people, like all the YouTubers that are kind of under our wing, have lost many, and it really hurts when it's like the smaller ones. What they do is they clean it for advertising, so if somebody hasn't watched your channel for a month, they might actually unsubscribe you. So always check that bell, check if it is on all notifications, or go to our website and get our notifications. But again, not just with me, check everybody that you have, because maybe you just haven't gotten around to watching their video, but you do want to know when they produce a video. Make sure to go to your favorite channels and then check if you are still subscribed. You might think that that's crazy, but it's actually something they do as a business decision, so they can keep advertising fair and all that kind of stuff. So we're going to get right into the news. We have a lot to cover in a little time period. Again, we might take a couple of these and actually do a live broadcast on news about, because this is like worth more talk. The stuff that's happening right now is going to, just blow people's minds on how this is starting to connect. We have a lot of people making a lot of connections in our emails. We're going to be going through the last 5 days. Again, you guys are what makes this show possible and makes it happen. So thank you guys a lot. Again, we'll go over the video. We're going to show you more video of the meteor over Guam. First, I want to talk about this. This is extremely important. It says China, Russia, and Ryan. If I say a word different, it's on purpose, to hold joint naval drills. Out of Beijing, it says CR and I, if you know what I mean. We'll just call them that for this article. Will hold joint naval drills starting Friday in the Gulf of Oman. In the Gopher. Beijing and Tehran said that at a time of heightened tensions since the U.S. withdrew from a landmark nuclear deal with Tehran, set to take place from December 27th to 30th, the military exercises aim to, quote, deepen exchange and cooperation between the navies of three countries. Chinese Defense Ministry spokesman Wu Qin told reporters Thursday. So this is something that I specifically called thanks to the help of our military group. In fact, if you watch my show a lot, you will know that we actually called this about 2.5 weeks in advance. We knew this was going to happen. We knew it was coming down the line. And that was because we actually had somebody in service who was currently serving saying that this is what they were warned about. So we found out before mainstream had it, and we let you guys know. We actually named 2 of the countries by name. That third one I did not get. So again, we have over 300 active and retired military folks in our group. They have a private group. If you're active or retired, you can hop into our Discord, and you have to be confirmed to get into that group. But once you're in there, you're only in there with ex-military. I don't hang out in there. If anything, we post a question there to try to get it answered. But again, I'm not ex-military, so I don't even go in there. Again, it says, Wu said that the Chinese Navy would deploy its Xining guided missile destroyer, nicknamed, quote, the Carrier Killer, for its array of anti-ship and land attack cruise missiles in the drills. But he did not give details on how many personnel or ships would take part overall. For Ryan, the drill's purpose was to bolster, quote, international commerce security in the region and, quote, fighting terrorism and private piracy. I thought I said privacy. I'm like, don't talk to China about that. Piracy, said senior armed forces spokesman Brigadier General Abdulzul Shekarchi. Sorry if I butchered that. It says the exercise would stabilize security in the region and benefit the world. State news agency IRNA quoted him as saying on Wednesday. The U.S. reimposed crippling sanctions on Ryan in May last year after withdrawing from the international deal aimed at tackling the Islamic Republic nuclear program, prompting Tehran to hit back with countermeasures. Remaining parties to the badly weakened 2015 deal: China, Russia, Britain, France, and Germany. So there's a lot going on with this. In June, it says U.S. President DT, Commander-in-Chief, authorized a military strike after Ryan shot down a U.S. drone, only to call off the retaliation at the last moment. Now, what really happened, we don't know. Honestly, you guys know that there's been a lot of back and forth. I call them tit for tats. You guys call them Fantastic Freddy's, or, another word for that. But there is a lot going on, and there's a lot of, obviously, back and forth right now. It is my honest theory, and I know that a lot of you guys agree. A lot of people say that we are sensational and that we are, fear-mongers and all of this. If you believe in all of this, then you honestly see right past all those things. You understand that, I know that most of my viewers are, 1, usually awake, and 2, usually critical. So if I am wrong, they call me out on it in every video. Even my most hardcore supporters call me out. The one thing that most of us all agree on, that something big is coming. You guys honestly back me up on this, and you have since I started this channel. We've actually become more commercial, and I saw this coming a year ago. I knew that we would need to be more commercially viable, and it has paid off because, honestly, that's where this is going. If we're going to get out information, we need to do it through backdoor types. This is the front door to get everybody in. Again, our website, we're going to have alerts going out. We're working on very comprehensive information about NATO, the UN. Oh my gosh, there's so much going on. You guys are going to be blown away. People have been messaging saying, hey, I didn't get the alert about NATO. We're still putting it together. We want to make sure that everything is accurate, that we get out. I'm doing have it. Dex is doing have it. We're going to make sure that we have it as accurate as possible. And we are waiting to confirm something, because if there is something that else that comes in, we are way farther ahead than we think we are. And that's why I don't want to alarm people if we don't have to. Again, you can get Marfoogle alerts if you just go to marfooglenews.com. Training text, NHK explains it retracted news bulletin saying NK had fired a missile into the sea off Japan. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is just 2 days ago, and it was just so funny. So, Dex, when this article came out, you actually spotted this, and I said, dude, do you realize, like, this is just kind of like what happened when I first started YouTube, when the false missile alert happened. You first told me that it was a text that went out to everybody. That's not true, right?
Yeah, I had thought it was a text when I saw the headline, but then I realized it was actually a news alert that went out from the news station, which just caused just as much attention to the public. But it's also interesting, is this happened right at the time we were expecting to hear something from
Christmas gift.
NK, the Christmas gift, right?
Yeah. We were expecting an early Christmas gift. And what day was this on? This was on, was this Christmas Day, or was this the day after?
This was the day after. It was reported the day after.
So I do want to read this, because this is the whole thing. This is like coming full circle. We're getting these things again. We're getting false alerts. We're getting all these things. And if you realize that when that happened, we actually had tit for tats. We had back and forths. We had diplomats get kicked out of this country. Diplomats get kicked out of that country. A lot of things went down because of what happened. So let me just read this real quick. Japan's broadcaster NHK reported a missile launch from NK, stating that the projectile was estimated to have fallen some 2,000 kilometers off of Hokkaido's coast. The news, however, was retracted shortly afterwards. The erroneous report of the missile launch was issued by Japan's national broadcasters late on Thursday. Okay, so do you guys believe this? Sorry about that. Let me fix this sound here. Do you guys... Jeez, like all computery. Do you guys believe that this was an erroneous message? Or do you think it's weird coincidences that we're seeing off of the coast of Guam something break up in the sky right after this happens? One thing that did come to my head first is I actually did think, what if we have crazy defenses that, nobody talks about, like that is confidential and obviously, acts in our behalf and we don't even know about it. Is that something that you guys thought as well? Did you guys think that possibly both of these things were, one, real? What if, Hawaii was real? I firmly believe it was not a false alert, and that we had some sort of top secret device knock the thing down and knock it out before it was a threat. That's my question, because it makes more logical sense than, some of the other theories out there. And it's like, what about the timing of this? Again, Guam is something that was threatened by NK. They said that they'll take out the base on Guam. Guam is obviously, a big place for that. So just really, really weird. It says later in the day, the NHK explained that a training text, not an actual fact, had been posted in air, extending an apology to its viewers and the general public. Okay, so does anyone believe this? First of all, before Hawaii, we never, ever in history had a false nuclear alert. Is that correct, Dex? I don't think there has ever been a false nuclear text or alert or news that went public.
I have never heard of that until Hawaii. So that, that's pretty. And here's the other thing. Look at this. The details in this message. It dropped 2,000 kilometers off of a specific coast.
Yeah, how would that
was the message.
And why would that even be a training?
Really?
Why would that be a training? Yeah. The real thing would be a training, not it went and landed in the water. That has happened like 15 times. Why would that be a training mission? That's what I want to. That's what I want to know. This is honestly one of the craziest things ever. And again, this is now another time. It's almost like there's things happening that are just like they do the Jedi mind tricks, and they're just like, it never happened. There was no nuke. It's all gone. You're all sheep. It seems like that's what's, the veil is being pulled over our eyes. And maybe it's for our own good, right? Is it crazy to think that? Maybe they don't want to, cause panic. Maybe there was a huge blast of 5 missiles. Who knows? Maybe NK is wiped off the map, but we don't even know it yet. In 2 weeks, they say, well, they sent a missile on Christmas. We intercepted it and then sent a whole barrage in, and we took over their country, and they let us know when they're done. Nobody would know, really. NK is such a separate country. There's not really, nobody would know. Maybe some backwoods like computer geek that's somehow connecting with NK would know, or somebody from NK sent out a message or something. But I mean, we honestly could take out NK in not too long, and they either wouldn't see it coming or would see it coming and do whatever. But again, do we have technology that would stop a nuke in its tracks? And, all the stuff that we have in public is just... Because it's funny. People don't believe that. The same people that would say, no, we don't have it. It has 50% ratio of actually doing... We don't even think we can hit one out of the sky. But yet everybody, those same people are saying that what the government has is 20, 30 years ahead of what we know about. So wouldn't that include... I mean, if you look at where technology has gone in the last 10 years... I mean, 10 years ago, we had Snake on a Nokia. Now we have personal computers with 5G and technology to, see screws in a wall and all this crap. And yet we don't have a good, why did they need hypersonic? Did they need hypersonic because we have completely and utterly stopped regular cruise missiles? It's a thought. Or is that something that was new because they had it? It's just weird. It says, the timing of the training exercise gone wrong could not have been worse, as the situation on the Korean Peninsula remains tense. Prior to the Christmas holidays, Kim issued a cryptic warning to the U.S. about getting possible Christmas gifts. America's beefing up military might and its repeated threats have long been angering Pyongyang. Or what if DT didn't want to tell everybody that this happened? What if they said, no, let's keep this on the low? Think about it. What if he did it just to piss off Kim? Like Kim sent 5 different missiles, one by Guam, one by here, one by there, and they just didn't say anything on purpose to piss off Kim. Because Kim is doing it. Here's these Christmas gifts. Everybody thought a missile test was going to happen, and then all of a sudden, we get this. I mean, look at this. Come on, people. Is anybody still sleeping? Look at this. And then if you look at the California, the tests that they did, same thing. And then it goes all the way down, and it breaks down. This doesn't have... I don't know. I've seen a lot of meteor stuff. We cover all the meteors. This doesn't... The meteor would break up way higher in the sky, I would think, right? I don't know, because I've seen meteors in person that looked like this, but most of the videos have different colors. Is it just bad filming? Is that why the colors aren't there that would normally... I don't know. I guess, the colors actually coincide with what metals that are in it and this and that. What do you guys think? I honestly want to know. And if you're watching the replay of this, again, this is a live show, so we could be talking about breaking news here any second. What do you guys think about this? I would love to know what everyone's opinion on this, because I think this is huge news, and I think that it just went way under the radar. I think that people should be sharing this. I think people should be asking questions. I think people should be talking about this in the public eye. But yet it goes under the radar like just a little meteor. By Guam, Japan does a warning. The news service in Japan, NHK is a big one, tells everyone that a nuke landed 2,000 kilometers exactly off their coast, off of Hokkaido. Those kind of accidents don't happen unless you get hacked. And then that's news in itself. Do you guys see what I'm saying? That's news in itself. The fact that we had another false alert, that serious. You don't do false nuclear alerts. If you are running a news agency, you do absolutely everything in your power not to say something like that unless it is 100% fact. And it sounds like it was 100% fact, and then somebody on the little red phone said, hey, shut up. Don't say anything. It's going to piss off Kim. Rocket Man is going to be pissed because nobody... It's kind of like ignoring a troll on Twitter. It just makes them even more mad when they don't get a response. Maybe that's it. Just saying. Or, everybody has theories. People think it's a UFO. People think it's this. People think it's that. What do you guys think it is? If you're watching the replay, put it in the comments below. If you are watching right now, put it in the chat. My personal opinion, after covering news every day, you guys may watch, and some of you watch every night, which I appreciate you guys more than anybody here. I want to do a thank you show just for the names that I know by heart. But for the people that just kind of watch once every 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, you have to realize Dex and I cover news every night, and even on our days off, we're usually meeting with our prep groups. We are usually looking for the news for the next show, or we are doing stuff on the other channel, Marfoogle News. And it's like we have seen the progression. We've seen the tit for tats. We've seen the back and forths between countries. We see all the little things. Then on top of that, we have all of your information, all of your expertise, all of your beautiful minds working towards a solution and how these are connected. I don't ever take credit for this show. This is your show. Everyone watching, including you at home, yes, you on your red couch with blue shoes and a gray cat. Very specific. If you probably weirded somebody out there. But what do you guys think? I think with everything else, this is a big deal. So we're going to continue to talk about that here in a second. U.S. sends 4 spy planes over NK, but ominous Christmas gift didn't come. Or did it? That's kind of funny. And we sent 4 spy planes over NK, but ominous Christmas gift didn't come. Given it's now December 26th, of course, this was 2 days ago, it looks like Kim Jong-un's promised, quote, Christmas gift, or what many thought would be a long-range missile test, never arrived. Perhaps that this was the actual gift in the most optimistic scenario, a softening of tensions and a willingness to back down in the hope that nuclear talks would warm in this holiday season heading into 2020. No, I don't think it is warming up. I think that 2020 is going to be a crazy year. And I hate to think about what's going to happen. However, it's not too late for some kind of, quote, late present, funny enough, brought by Santa Kim. Given the following provocative U.S. actions on Christmas Day, no less, as the Pentagon was likely closely monitoring to see if a gift was being readied on the ground. So wouldn't you think if they said that they're going to send a Christmas gift, most likely a launch of some sort, that they would have every single defense measure trained on NK? They had 4 spy planes, which probably tracked the missile from takeoff and then knocked it out of the sky in Guam and off Japan. Think logic, people. This is like straight up. Now they're taking them out like as they launch them. 4 spy planes over NK at the time, and then all of a sudden we have a meteor break up right by Guam. About 2,000 kilometers off of Guam's coast. And then off of Hokkaido, about 2,000 kilometers, one lands in the water. The whole country reports it and then goes, oh, no. It was a training text. Because, people don't confirm training text nowadays. Now, if it says nuke, people just crap their pants and report it to the whole world. Since last year, or since 2018, I guess. It's crazy to think I think it's been 2 years. Or what? Yeah, 2018, January 14th or something like that. That was the false missile alert, and that's when the first time, people were dropping kids in manholes. People were punching people off their motorcycles, jacking their motorcycles, and then 15 minutes later, bringing it back and going, I'm really sorry. I've got kids on the other side of the island. That happened. There was a lot of crazy stories. Some were on a golf course saying, well, if this is how I'm going to die, I love you, fam. I'll just hop on Facebook and say goodbye. This is serious stuff. And they just swept it under the rug, in my opinion. It says, funny enough, Russia commissions intercontinental hypersonic weapon. It says a new intercontinental weapon that can fly 27 times the speed of sound became operational when? Dex, I'm sorry, when did this become operational, Dex? What day?
The 26th, I believe, or the 27th. The last 2 days.
Huh. That's weird.
And do you know what it looks like when it's flying through the sky? It goes so fast, it has to have a special material they made to withstand the heat because it makes this huge fireball.
So, wait, so it looks like this? Like this meteor? Oh.
It looks exactly like that.
Yup. Nobody's paying attention. My channel's gone tomorrow. It says a new weapon that can fly 27 times the speed of sound became operational Friday. Russia's defense minister reported to President Vladimir Putin, bolstering the country's nuclear strike capability. Putin has described the avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicle as a technological breakthrough comparable to the 1957 Soviet launch of the first satellite. The new Russian weapon and a similar system being developed by China have troubled the United States, which has pondered defense strategies. The avant-garde is launched atop a intercontinental ballistic missile, but unlike a regular missile warhead that follows a predictable path after separation, it can make sharp maneuvers in the atmosphere en route to target, making it much harder to intercept. Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu informed Putin that the first missile unit equipped with the avant-garde hypersonic glide vehicle entered combat duty. It says, quote, I congratulate you on this landmark event for the military and the entire nation, Shoigu later said during a conference call with top military leaders. The Strategic Missile Forces Chief Sergei Karakirev said during a call that the avant-garde was put on duty with a unit in the Orenburg region in the southern Ural Mountains. Putin unveiled the avant-garde among other prospective weapon systems in his State of the Nation address March 2018. I don't know if you remember, Dex, but it was like a stupid cartoon with a triangle going woo, 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 woo.
Yeah, zigzagging through the missile defense systems. I remember seeing that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the equivalent of like a cartoon going, juke, ooh, ooh, U.S., ooh, Britain, ooh. It didn't actually. Putin unveiled the avant-garde among the other prospective weapons, and it says, noting its ability to make sharp maneuvers on its way to the target will render missile defense useless. It heads to target like a... wait. What? I'm sorry. It heads to target like a meteorite. Like a fireball, he said. what is a meteorite? Oh, okay, I get it. But nobody's going to put it together, right? It's pretty funny, right? I think I've stated my case on this. Just saying. Okay, so we're gonna hit back into that. I'm gonna talk about the person who posted. I'm gonna talk about that in a second here. I'm gonna talk about Hawaii. You guys are gonna. It's like, come on, people, everybody. Just my theory. Maybe it's so obvious. I mean, here's the thing. Nobody's reporting it as that, right? So are we onto something? Or is it so obviously looking like that was not a meteor that it's like a big distraction? That's what screws us up in this community. This is what screws us up, is even if it's super obvious, but it's not the truth, right? It's not the thing that is accepted as fact, right? But it's so freaking obvious. Then we get in debates about, well, it's so freaking obvious that it's probably a distraction or probably heading us off in the wrong direction. That's what sucks. The entire community, and you know what community I'm talking about, we're all arguing with each other and we all think we have the theories. My theory is that makes logical sense. Does it not? I'm sorry. It's like everything put together. It's kind of like fourth grade math. So anyways, getting into it, there's other things going on, and some people think that there's weather modification going on, which, by the way, man, people, when anybody hears that, they just go off and they go, whoa, 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 theories going around here. Those are C theories. I'm not going to say the C word anymore. And no, not the bad one. Well, they're all bad. So there's other stuff. As far as modification goes, there's actual treaties between countries that say that we cannot do it because it's a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction. They actually agreed. They said it's a fact that they can actually control earthquakes, but they don't know how to stop, or they didn't. At the time, they didn't know how to stop them. So they can create earthquakes. They just, at the time, could not stop them. So they agreed that since it was uncontrollable, that nobody should use them. It was like one of those, no-nos. They said that they can control cyclones and things like this. They could start typhoons or hurricanes. They could start rain. They could start storms, floods, these kind of things. These are all under like actual fact, the things we've agreed not to do to each other because we can't control the outcome. Those are all facts. Now, as far as under the plate tectonics, people are saying that they are, just by the scientists that are saying all of these crazy plans on different things, that we might, or the government might be at the stage of technology, and this might be total BS too, where they can go underneath things, underneath the ground. They have different devices that could trigger some sort of quake technology, some sort of seismic. Obviously, people know that, now it's kind of known that if there's a fracking site, that there's, sometimes quakes near there, right? Little quakes. And it can stir up stuff and screw up the natural seismic rhythm, all that. If you watch Dutch Sense, you'll know all about that. But as far as the Yellowstone thing, some think that Cascadia could be triggered early or on purpose to then trigger Yellowstone. There's some weird things going on, and some of our military group definitely has a lot to say about this. But those are all opinions. I want to know what you guys think, and if you guys have research on this, please let us know about it. Give us a call. Give us a tweet. It says, if you're headed to Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming, there's a good chance that visiting the park's iconic geysers will be near the top of your to-do list. In 2019, tourists were treated to plenty of activity from the Steamboat Geyser, which is the tallest currently active geyser on the planet. That's great news for park goers and perhaps even for the park itself. But with over 45 eruptions in 2019, the geyser's highly active streak is leaving scientists scratching their head. It says the geyser erupted a whopping 32 times in 2018 before ramping up even further this year. So this is another record set. It said the most famous geyser at Yellowstone and perhaps the world is Old Faithful. Old Faithful is famous for its incredibly predictable schedule of eruptions, which makes it perfect for visits from tourists. Steamboat is different, often going quiet for long stretches before eventually roaring back to life. As NPR reports, Steamboat Geyser didn't erupt at all in 2015, 2016, or 2017. And it says park visitors weren't treated to an eruption for full 3 years. 2018 was different, and 2019 has seen even more activity from the geyser. But why? And the researchers can only guess. It's such a big geyser, and the biggest something is, the easier it is to study. It says, but it also captures people's imagination. When it got active again, there was lots of press, and it reminded people that there are fundamental things about the Earth that we don't understand. So again, this is among so many other things that we've covered over the last year and a half, well now 2 years, that they don't understand, they can't explain, they don't know what the hell is going on, or do they know what's going on and they just don't want to tell us because it will panic the crap out of us. Those are my thoughts. My thoughts are not meant to make your thoughts. You tell me yours if you want to call in 224-400-MARF. If you want to read the rest of this, of course, go ahead at marfooglenews.com. Pentagon warns military mail-in DNA tests pose security risks, report says. It says the Pentagon has warned members of the military against using mail-in DNA. Now, remember just a week ago we told you that the military warned its soldiers not to use TikTok. Now they're saying do not use mail-in DNA. Something is about to go down. Why are they warning all of a sudden all the soldiers not to use certain products, certain this, certain that? It says, as they may pose a security risk, Yahoo reports. An internal memo co-signed by the Defense Department's top intelligence official was issued December 20th and obtained by the publication. It warns that the kits are, quote, largely unregulated, and that information collected by private companies could create potential risk to military members. How? Right? It says the memo also states that some DNA kit companies are targeting military personnel with discounts, although it does not name any specific companies. These DTC, or direct-to-consumer genetic tests, are largely unregulated and could expose personal and genetic information and potentially create unintended security consequences and increased risk to the joint force and mission. Moreover, there was increased concern in the scientific community that the outside parties are exploiting the use of generic or genetic data for questionable purposes, including mass surveillance and the ability to track individuals without their authorization or awareness. What? Dex, this has to freaking just... Does this just like do so many bells in your head? Just go, what the F is going on right now?
Well, I've been saying this for a while, like we shouldn't trust these DNA kits, but I'm glad to see that the military is actually coming publicly and saying it. I think it's a big risk on their part. We run the risk from a privacy perspective because we don't know what they do with the data, and we don't know who has access to that data and who they turn that data over to, like the authorities or somebody else who's collecting and building up information about the citizens. But in the particular case of the military, it's even more sensitive. So I applaud them for standing up and saying this, because it's something I've said for a long time. And it's pretty creepy what can be done with that information, and the fact that they can connect the dots between individuals and then start tracking people and, main information about somebody from their DNA. It's incredible.
One thing though, Dex, one thing that I don't think that I see, and I don't know if you see yet too, because I haven't talked to you about this one. By the way, I don't know if you guys heard that in the background, but there was a huge something went over. I mean, like, that must have been the hugest plane ever. It was just, the whole house shook. You'll probably hear, if you go back, you'll hear a humming. It's just like, sometimes, yeah, that was louder than I've ever heard here. But anyways, one thing that I don't think people are thinking about is the military is telling them, yes, well, let's stand up for them, but why are they telling them this? Obviously, they're protecting their soldiers, right? Why isn't the public being told? Are they doing it to the soldiers because the public is getting tracked now? They know something that would probably be better for the general public, but they're not telling us. What is actually going on? Is that some sort of operation? These, the DNA tests that are out there? And how would they be able to use DNA to track somebody? That's kind of weird. There's some weird things here.
I also wonder if the military knows, or some of the intelligence agencies which have conferred with the military know that some of this data is actually being exported or given to countries and foreign entities that aren't in alignment with our military, right? That would be a really bad thing, right? Letting that information out, like sort of like TikTok going to China, right?
And this is something intelligence related. This is something that was from the very, very top smartest people of spying, all this other stuff. Because listen to this. It says, the memo also notes that the potential inaccuracies in health information could pose further risk to military personnel. Why? Because they could, somebody who's sensitive to chocolate could eat chocolate, or somebody who has a high risk of, I don't understand that. It says who are required to report medical issues. However, it does not elaborate further on exactly what these risks are. It says Yahoo reports the memo is signed by Joseph D. Kernan, the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence. So this is somebody who is definitely up there as far as, they're talking to all the different intelligence offices, and they apparently think that these DNA kits have some sort of ulterior motive. Well, no duh. It says a growing number of companies sell DNA kits that can easily be done at home by the consumer merely taking a cheek swab or a sample of their saliva. The results provide customers with information on their ancestry, their family tree, as well as insights into possible medical risks. The department instead is advising military personnel to get DNA results information from a licensed professional. Now, what if it could see a weakness in you and then basically trigger something in there? What if they have technology now that, depending on one little thing in your DNA, they could just flip, a switch and turn you off, like permanently? I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, there could be bioengineering going on. If you take the DNA data and you cross-reference across the military, you could say, hey, if I bioengineered this, I can have the maximum amount of damage to military personnel, right?
That is absolutely scary. Yeah. Oh my God. We haven't even gotten to the UN agreeing with Russia. This is crazy. Okay, so we're going to get to that here right now. First, want to say thank you. Colleen Luce Wilson says, I'm not even going to say that. The CEO of this platform, their sister, is the CEO of 23andMe. I like both companies. They're both great people. Great. And Me is the sister of this place. Yeah, there's some pretty scary stuff. Gemma Taylor, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the fam, and I really mean that. Ilea, Yellowstone didn't erupt in 1700 with the magnitude 9.0 Cascadia quake. It didn't trigger any West Coast volcanoes that I know of. We don't actually know that, Ilea. We don't. We barely knew about Cascadia. In fact, we don't know. There's been volcanoes as late as like 110 years ago that they didn't know erupted. So that's not true. Plus, you have Yellowstone, which is way overdue in some minds, and then, it could be another 100,000 years in others. That's not true. I guess I would say wait on that, because you should hear some of the people, the experts I've talked to. I'm doing a lot of this extra stuff on the side. You would have to listen to them. You don't have to believe me. Lady Diane says Walmart has patent on robotic bananas. I don't know what that emoji is. Now I'm curious. Robotic bananas? I'm really curious, because if that's a robotic banana, I would think, hey, we could make art out of that. Nikki in Hickavoig says, sing your favorite name at the shoutro. That would probably be in Hickavoig. Russ Bucket 69, thank you so much. Bonnie Blake, thank you. You can always write a message, both of you guys. Julie Grotehouse, thank you for all you do. Thank you guys for supporting me. Lady Diane, Marf, I'm meeting STL peeps. Using Marfoogle as the reservation name at the restaurant. Hope you don't mind, Marf. No, that's awesome. By the way, you guys, it's crazy because I was playing Call of Duty on my phone, and my name on there was Marfoogle. People started friending me like crazy. I did not know there were so many Call of Duty Marfoogle people out there, so that was pretty funny. Harley Moore, I watched one night and have been hooked ever since. Much love to Adam Dex and all the mods. That's awesome, Harley. There's a few people that I want to thank too. Thank you guys for sending stuff in the mail. Sweet Jenna, I got your beautiful letter, by the way. I'm going to be putting it in the background. Your Christmas cards and things like that. Also, I have plenty of people to thank for beautiful artwork as well. This is going to be going back there. And then the Malloy family, thank you. I appreciate your guys' thing. I don't want to show your stuff, but I got your card. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you that sent me those. Again, why, military, that's crazy. Christian, much love. Bob Tom, Virginia first, then all states surrounding Washington, D.C., Agenda 2-1. Dustin Westphalen, pray for Secure Team also. As you guys know, I tweeted about him. I would not probably still be here. I would not probably have a show without Tyler showing a clip. I think I was at 6 or 7 subscribers when he showed a clip of my Hawaii video. I was essentially going on and telling people about what my sister saw. I thought it was really crazy. I couldn't hold it in. I wanted to get it out. I basically just did it to do it. And I said that. He somehow found it when he looked it up because of my title or something. He found that and he shared that information. And that's what got me my first 500-600 subscribers. And when everybody was typing it in, I made some more videos, and that's how I grinded to my first 1,000. So again, I don't think I would have gotten past 100 if it wasn't for help. That's why I help so many small creators. That's the honest truth. I have helped over 220 channels get to 1,000 or more. So Tyler having his problems, no matter what really happened with that, I think that, I have to say I'm going to say I'm praying for him. I'm going to say that you guys need to be praying for him. He's obviously, he's got a lot of stuff going down right now, and a lot of people are throwing a lot of hate at him. I think people should wait to judge. I think people should pull the twig out of their eye before they look at their brother. So that's just my opinion. Virginia first, then all states. That's a scary thought. JR Pale Horse, drones flying over our place here in northeast Colorado. We haven't even talked about that yet. Grid formation drones. What the hell is going on? JR Pale Horse, that's crazy. Dustin Westphalen, get ready to rumble. Government, Earth, rumble at once. All right, yeah, we haven't even gotten to that. So, again, there's so much crazy stuff right now. I don't even know how to cover all this in one show. This should have been broken up into like 10 days. There's so much here, and there's so much more. It's nuts. It says the results provide consumers with information on their ancestry, their family. It says... And what's funny is the main people say that it may or may not be reliable results as far as the DNA. So I don't even know why people are doing it. They just are curious. People want to do it. It's just crazy. Okay, so here is big news. This is way bigger than anybody knows. This ties into what we are going to be covering on NATO and the internet, NATO and the complete control of information. This is a big deal, guys. And I understand that people are going to be like, oh, nobody's going to care about this. This is going to go right under everybody's noses. Nobody is going to give a crap. Now, Dex, it says, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to have you interject here. UN moves towards handing dictatorships power to control the internet. This is nuts because they're going with Russia on this. The United Nations wants to hand power to dictatorial regimes like China to control the internet, prompting fears of a massive new free speech purge. The General Assembly has approved a resolution sponsored by China and Russia to set up a committee of, quote, international experts whose role would be to stop the use of information and communications technologies for criminal purposes. However, many caution that the move is merely a backdoor for authoritarian regimes to further censor dissent. So, one thing I want to say here, this is so much bigger than this, and we are covering this in the NATO stuff that's going on, the global platform, the global social media platform that's coming, the control of all information, the deciding on what is and what's not. That's been said, and people are like, yeah, who does, and that sucks. People are going to stand up and revolt if things get worse. And guess what? They will be. Dex, as far as this, I have an opinion that this is getting to the point where it signals to me that they are getting prepared for something massive. During all previous WWs, like 1 and 2, certain parties would control the information, control everything that's going out, going in. In fact, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Adam, this is kind of crazy when you think about it. So what they're doing is they're using the notion of criminal / cyber security and cyber threats to say, hey, we need this. China and Russia are backing it, okay, and the UN is getting on board with it. But what is really happening is when you look at the language, what they're doing is they're proposing putting in place the ability to censor the internet, to give countries the ability to put the internet on, to black out the internet or turn it off. Now, mind you, the largest population group is in China. China already controls their internet and already shuts it down whenever they need to, blocks access. You can't go anywhere that the government doesn't want you to go. They censor everything. Who else has recently begun shutting down the internet? They did it over 100 times this year. India. India is one of the largest populations in the world, right? So we take China, we take India. Oh, by the way, Russia just got on board with this, right? So Russia has done this with their internet. That's a very large portion of the population of this globe that's now going to be under control, where they can censor and completely turn on and off the internet at any time that they so choose at the government level.
Completely right? Turn off the internet.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
Who is testing this? Every other country. China's done it. Russia just did it twice in just a matter of months. Why? Why are they testing this? What is coming that they'll need to shut down the complete and utter flow of information? Get this. Everything is dependent on satellites. People don't even have house phones anymore, for God's sakes. And They're getting rid of the repeater poles for frickin' ham radios. This is not next year. I don't know. It seems like in the next 3 or 4 years how much faster it's gotten.
Well, look at this year alone, Adam. This year alone, what has been the big story we have seen around our power plants, around our cities? We've seen cyber attack after cyber attack after cyber attack, right? It's becoming mainstream where they're reporting on it all the time. So now it becomes a mainstream problem where we think, oh, this is a big deal. Ooh, here swoops in the UN. Well, we have a solution to cyber threats. So everybody jump on board. Not a good thing. Not a good thing at all.
And you would know, Dex, honestly, like this is absurdity. And nobody's going to take it seriously. They're going to think it's not going to affect me as long as I can get to my Netflix and get to my my little dilly-dallies of the day and play my slot games. No offense, honey. I love you. Hopefully you're not watching. As long as you can do that, you're going to be fine, right? People can watch their Netflix and their Hulu. They're going to be okay. Trust me, it's going to get a lot worse. It's the complete control of information for what's to come. And people aren't going to believe. Free and open and borderless internet it should be a fundamental right across the globe. And if we don't have that, then we don't have true freedom. And we've seen in the past this level of communication help topple bad regimes that are repressing people, and because they have free access to information and get that information out and communicate, that's been a saving grace for people. And we're talking about taking that away, and it's very clear why the people in power want to stay in power. I just want to read this next sentence. Governments like China already censor and turn off the internet during times of civil unrest. So if Russia has it, China has it, India has it, why do they need to do this? Oh, you mean so they can do it in America, in Australia, in Europe? Why have certain things passed that actually they kind of set this up? They basically put it on the tee for, the 3-year-old to go. Everything is set up right now, and you think I'm being paranoid. You should look at what we're putting together. You should look at what the military folks are telling us. You should look at what proof we are going to have on this. It is so much serious than not having internet. It's like this is the complete and utter setup to control 100% of everything. We are not going to be here. It sucks. I put my whole life into this dang thing. I really did. And I know that I only have, this isn't like I think about it every day. I think about, I never thought that this would be something to even support my family. But I have put 100% into it. And I think about, what are we going to do when everything hits the fan? How are we going to be set up? What if I pass away? What if I pass away next year? How is my family going to be taken care of? It's not like you can, do this forever. Especially with what's coming. This is a scary, scary thought.
And Adam, one last point. This is a macro level we're talking about. We're talking about big countries doing this. We've even heard, as of recent, that a governor in Virginia was talking about using this same thing, or it was rumored. I don't know if it's actually been reported that he said it. It was rumored that he's talking about using the same thing to do confiscations, right? Shutting down the internet at a local level. Not a good thing at all.
Nope, and it's being tested all over the world, and somehow they're gonna, with the UN doing it, it could affect us all. It's not just those countries. It's not just third world or this or that. It's not. Everybody always thinks it's not going to happen here. It's going to happen here, and it plays integral part of everything. It's not just. It's going to become physical for you. It's not going to be something that I can't watch my show now. It's a complete control of information. People aren't going to get it until it physically affects them, and it will physically affect you. We're so dependent on the internet. It's incredible. Very unusual seismic activity on the West Coast has some experts extremely concerned about what could happen. The West Coast never stops shaking, but lately the shaking has gone to an entirely new level, and this has many people deeply concerned about what may be coming. Last summer, a series of alarming foreshocks immediately preceded the two historic quakes that shook the Ridgecrest area in Southern California. But those quakes were nothing compared to, quote, the big one that scientists assure us is way overdue. Someday, an earthquake that is hundreds of times stronger will absolutely devastate the California coastline, and it may be arriving a lot sooner than many people think. Further north, the Cascadia subduction zone is a ticking time bomb that could literally unleash an unprecedented disaster at any moment. What I am talking about is an event that will completely wipe out entire cities, and that the region will never recover from. As I have detailed repeatedly, authorities have warned us that everything west of I-5 will be toast. When an absolutely massive seismic event along the Cascadia subduction zone sends a gigantic tsunami sweeping inland. And without a doubt, that day is coming. Because of extreme damage that a major West Coast seismic event would do to our economy and to our internet infrastructure, all of our lives will dramatically change the moment it happens. So it is understandable why so many people are alarmed by the tremendous shaking that we have witnessed over the past few days. As Americans all over the country were celebrating Christmas, the state of California was shook by 9 significant earthquakes. And further north of the city, Vancouver was rattled by a 6.3 quake. It just kept going. We have had so many weird quakes over the holidays, over the last couple of days. A series of earthquakes on Christmas Eve and before dawn Christmas morning hit around California, and a much bigger 6.3 quake shook off of Vancouver. These are at the bottom and the top of the Cascadia subduction zone. This is why people are paying attention. At least 9 earthquakes in 24 hours reaching up to a 3.2 magnitude shook California from the Los Angeles area north to Chico, the U.S. Geological Survey reports. It says the other quakes in the swarm ranged from 2.5 to 3.0 magnitude and stretched the length of the state, according to the USGS. The large earthquake that shook Vancouver was preceded by 5 other large earthquakes that hit the region on Monday. There were no reports of damages or injuries after 5 earthquakes struck within 7 hours off of the northwest end of Vancouver Island on Monday. So it says, but scientists tell us that the enormous rupture of the Cascadia subduction zone has the potential to produce a giant tsunami hundreds of feet tall, and the death and destruction such a tsunami would cause in Vancouver, Seattle, Tacoma, Portland, and other coastal communities in the Northwest would be absolutely off the charts. Meanwhile, we have witnessed more than 30 significant earthquakes over the last 30 days in the vicinity of Mount Rainier. We had a swarm, and this is really shaking up the scientists here. I've talked to scientists in Oregon that are freaked out about this. And anyone that is familiar with my work knows how concerned I am about the potential for a major eruption of that volcano. And of course, they are speaking of Mount Rainier, which, as you may know, is right in my backyard. Because there is always at least a little bit of shaking going on along the West Coast. Many residents have been lulled into a false sense of security. Yes, a major disaster has not happened in a long time, And as a result, many believe that there is nothing to be concerned about. But someday a major event will strike very suddenly, and the devastation will be unimaginable. Just consider what Steve Quayle recently told Greg Hunter. The amount of damage, and I am going to choose my words carefully, is going to be precedent-setting. It's going to be the combination of volcanoes going off that are inland from the subduction zone, where the plates meet, coupled with tsunamis. When this happens, you will lose 8 million to 20 million people. It says when it happens, you will lose all productivity in the electronic field, obviously Silicon Valley, and all food production in all of California, Oregon, and Washington. When it happens, you will have a state of emergency unlike any other. How about the refugees? There will be a 3.5 million refugees to take care of. When this happens, what happens to the underground aquifers? And where does everyone go for fresh water? There will be years of drought, years of famine, and years of water. Water, where did it all go? It is a very dire situation painted by computer models. This is not a sensational thing. It is all reality-based scientific study with the application of what happens. It says hopefully such an event will be delayed for as long as possible. It says before I get back to California, there's one little tidbit from the Northwest that I wanted to share with you. On Friday, the city of Seattle experienced its darkest day in recorded history. Seattle, the city known for its rainy weather and overcast, saw that its darkest day in recorded history Friday due to several factors, including shorter days and dense cloud coverage. Pyranometers are devices installed in buildings on campus at the University of Washington that help scientists gauge just how dark the days actually get in the city. The Seattle Times reported. Scientists there monitor how much solar radiation reaches the ground during a 24-hour span. Could that be some sort of harbinger? I don't know, but certainly a lot of weird things have been happening in the U.S. lately. There have been more than 1,200 earthquakes in the United States over the past week, and the majority of those quakes have happened in the state of California. Prior to the earthquake swarm that we witnessed on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, a series of moderate quakes rattled Ridgecrest area on Thursday and Friday. 5 months after the biggest earthquake in 2 decades, a swarm of smaller quakes rattled a secretive Navy base in Mojave Desert Thursday afternoon and before dawn on Friday, according to the USGS. It says 5 quakes magnitudes over 2.5 struck Naval Air Weapons Station China Lake between 3 p.m. And it says that is exact same area where 2 quakes hit before. We've talked about that. So going on about all this, I actually agree with every word of this, including Quayle's part, everything about it, because of who we've talked to. For Ilea, I understand where you're coming from as far as, not seeing, has Yellowstone gone off before, has all of these. One thing I would say is after volcanoes go off, after the destruction, nature can actually retake over very fast, especially if there's not humans involved, if there's animals, if there's everything else. It can actually take back over very quickly if there isn't humans to kind of interject there. They don't know. There's a lot of science in volcanoes that is totally inaccurate, and they are correcting every single day. The thing is we as a civilized society have not seen this since America's been America. 1776 and before that, when we started coming over, this is this is something we have never seen in this country before, and it's happening. It's going to happen. There's no scientists that debate this. All the scientists that I've talked to, and in general, if you look at any headline, if you look at any different sets of scientists from all over the world, they're all in agreement on one thing, that this will happen, that it is overdue. So it's just crazy that, usually you have huge scientific arguments, whether it's even exists or this or that, they all agree. So this isn't the thing is earthquakes are survivable. Tsunamis should be survivable. These things we need to prepare for. These things we need to yell at our governments to say, hey, we need, we need steel reinforced buildings, we need reinforced masonry buildings. We need them to retrofit everything. We need them to fix all of the brick schools and things like this. There's tons of them. Now they are making vertical evacuation setups as fast as they can. So one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to physically go there and show you one of these vertical evacuations, and I'm going to go up one of them. I'm also going to show you, I'm going to try to get up to Rattlesnake Ridge to show you the crack in earth in Washington. Something is going on that has had recent action. It's weird. I will show you Mount Rainier. And some people say that it's actually kind of erupting. Like it's steaming, which is not totally weird. That's a mountain that I always just think of as a mountain, not even as a volcano. But there is a ton of stuff going on right now. And I think that the main thing to take out of this is that, one, if you live here or even on the West Coast, it will most definitely affect you. But then the other thing to take away from this, even if you're on the East Coast, 21 states are preparing to deal with the aftermath of this. So something in their books tells them that this is going to affect way more than just Washington, Oregon, and California. So we all need to prepare for this. That's the first time I've seen an article talk about how the internet infrastructure is going to be affected. That's something nobody talks about. It says burst of Christmas earthquakes near Vancouver Island raise fears of the big one. When Prince Harry went over to Vancouver Island for Christmas, he undoubtedly felt like he was getting away from all the rumbles of home. The Queen herself said it was as much in her Christmas address. It was a tumultuous year, mainly because of Andrew capped off with the healthcare of Philip, and personally difficult for the Sussexes, who sued a tabloid for intrusive coverage of Meghan. But even as Yuletide fell on the Pacific Northwest holiday near Victoria, BC, the royals were menaced by a more natural upheaval. They were smack in tsunami range as the Cascadia Fault seemed to threaten the big one. The day before Christmas Eve was seismically unusual in the waters off of Vancouver Island, alarmingly so to the layperson trained to expect the worst. A cluster of earthquakes was underway about 5 kilometers below the sea floor, one every couple hours. So that's shallow and strong. This was a big deal just 2 days ago. Okay, so I'm going to go over some, this is so much big stuff right now. This, I thought, was absolutely nuts. And something is going on. So for the people that have called, who have sent pictures, who have sent videos, they think, what is this thing? Is it a UFO? I have seen it too. Betelgeuse is acting strange and astronomers are buzzing. So if you've seen that one star that's like pulsating, doing all this weird crap, it's doing that because something is going on and they don't know what it is. It says a meteor strikes past the constellation Orion, the Hunter, as it hovers over the horizon. The bright, ruddy star Betelgeuse left is a part of this famous stellar pattern. So if you ever look at the 3 stars of Orion, in the left, right here, Betelgeuse is one of the brightest, is doing this crazy pulsating bright blue, bright blah, blah, blah thing. And they think that it might actually be going supernova. It says normally Betelgeuse is among the 10 brightest stars in the sky. However, the red giant began dimming in October. And by mid-December, the star had faded so much, it wasn't even in the top 20. That's huge change in just a matter of months. So we might actually see the creation of a black hole. Isn't that right, Dex? Would that be what it... Does it just disappear in front of our eyes?
Yeah, I guess when a star collapses, it can do that. But the other thing we'll see is some sort of large pulsation of light that'll come from this. It should be really bright if it actually does destruct.
This is nuts. I don't think we've seen this in... Have we seen this with our naked eyes before? I mean, like, somebody wants to tell me when. This is pretty crazy. I mean, we're talking from October to mid-December. It had faded so much from the top 10 brightest to not even in the top 20. It says, now the outline of Orion is noticeably different with Betelgeuse so faint. This is nuts, you guys. We are seeing stuff that just you never even think about. The stars are the same. They're actually changing in front of our eyes. So that means it happened millions of years ago. And now we're seeing the results of it. So literally, at any day, we could see this bright flash and then it's gone. It says, to be clear, dimming alone isn't all that odd for a star like Betelgeuse. It's what's known as a variable star. And its shifts in brightness have been closely studied for decades. However, it is unusual for one of the sky's most prominent points of light to fade so noticeably. They don't know what's going on, prompting scientists to consider the possibility that something more exciting could be about to happen. Betelgeuse might explode and die, briefly blazing brighter than the full moon before vanishing from our night sky forever. Is that crazy? Brighter than the full moon. I wonder if we will get that light. Like, will the earth be lit up for a second? If they say it's going to be, if they say it could be brighter than the full moon, that means we could be lit up by a star's death. That's pretty crazy. I know there's a lot of debate about all of that. It says huge red stars like Betelgeuse live fast and die violently, exploding in stellar events called supernovae that are visible across vast distances. So while Betelgeuse is a relatively young star, only about 8.5 million years old, astronomers know that it is nearing the end of its life. The biggest question now is when it will explode in a supernova. Wow. The disclaimer says, I don't think it's going to explode anytime soon, she added during an interview with National Geographic. But I am excited for when it does. That's nuts. So it goes from one of the brightest stars in the top 10 to not even the top 20 in less than a month. I don't know. What do you guys think?
And when that does go, Adam, it won't be a quick flash. It should last a few days or maybe even more.
That's crazy.
So we'll see this big bright thing in the sky. But who knows if it'll be in our lifetime. But it's not that far away according to them.
Do you guys, like, is that not nuts? Like, you'll be able to see it in Georgia. I'll be able to see it in Washington. We'll be watching this huge bright light in the sky. Not an asteroid, not a planet. That's just nuts. Nuts. Woman of Wonder says, glad you like your Christmas present. I love it. Honestly, I liked your... Also, you have a nice business card. This is really, really, really pretty. I don't know if you guys can see that. I just wanted to show you guys. This is actually... I didn't know what the other gold parts were, though. I know it's two different kinds of rock, but super pretty. Super, super sweet. All right. Now I'll just be blurry for the rest of the show. Check this out. Large non-government drones flying in mysterious grid pattern over Colorado. What in the heck is going on? With estimated wingspans of 6 feet, the aircraft have been covering 25 square mile plots of Phillips and Yuma counties every night between 7 and 10 p.m. for around a week. Phillips County Sheriff Thomas Elliott said Monday, adding that they have received 9 calls about the drones since last week. They have been doing a grid search, a grid pattern, he said. They fly one square and then they fly another square. But nobody knows who's flying them. What the hell, Dex? What do you think this is?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they've asked the government. They've, I guess the Air Force, the FAA. They've asked local companies, and they've asked the local authorities, and nobody is taking claim for this. But these things are flying in a grid pattern. They've been reported to be said. It looks like they're mapping. It's happening after dark. They're very large. Typically, those would be registered with the FAA, and they would be able to know, and they can't figure that out. So, yeah, and it's happening. The reports are going on day after day after day now, and I think I've heard some recent reports saying it's up to 30 potential drones in a big grid formation, and I've even heard that it's also potentially moving into the next state over.
Do you think
Nebraska.
this is mapping for a T attack? Do you think what would this be? If it's not hobbyists and it's not government, could it be USGS? Could it be USGS?
Yeah, if it's nighttime, it's what is it going to be, infrared? Because you're not going to see anything in the dark unless it's infrared.
But then what would they be able to use? Would they be using? They would have to be using for heat signatures.
I guess, but they're also in a rural area. So, on one hand, if you're doing a test, you're in a rural area. Are they doing a test to do something someplace else? Is this
over Colorado? What would Colorado be? I mean, that wouldn't be Yellowstone, right? Would they be looking for heat signatures? Are they looking for? That's not on the New Madrid or anything.
But I think if that was an official thing, they would probably be more. You would know who it was. There would be records of the flights.
Well, because they're 6 feet. Wait a second.
These are commercial size. These have to be registered.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where's the records of them?
They're not. There's no logs.
What? That's okay. So do you guys? This has to be illegal. It's not a hobby because this is a grid mapping formation. What could this be? I want you guys to use all of your brains together. I want us all to dig deep and to find out what this is. Let us know. Give us a call at 2244-00-MARF. Let us know what you think this is. I'm not the knowing all Wizard of Oz. What do you guys think this is? This freaks me out. What the hell would that be? I honestly, that's just crazy looking. Says Mayers says he watched 8 of the large drones flying along the Yuma County border, while a single drone was spotted simultaneously hovering around 25 miles away over the town of Paoli. According to the report, it didn't move all night, just hovered over the town, while 8 more drones flew 10 miles away over the town of Haxton, Myers added. Overhead, they were probably doing 30 to 40 miles per hour, he said. They weren't racing or flying around with speed. One resident who spotted a drone last week gave chase. Elliott said driving behind it at about 50 miles per hour, but lost the drone when he ran out of gas in Washington County. It says the machines fly too high to be heard from the ground, but can be seen by their strobing white lights along with red, blue, and green lights. Myers suspects that the drones might be operated by a private company, although the machines haven't targeted any obvious landmarks or features. Sometimes they fly over towns, other times over empty fields. They do not seem to be malicious. They don't seem to be doing anything that would indicate criminal activity. But at the same time, they're not registered. If there's no record of them, then what the hell are they doing? They must have government permission. Or, since the government's denying it, is it somebody else's government? If you even I have my Mavic 2 Pro registered with the FAA because it is of a certain weight and size. That's why they just came out with the DJI Mavic Mini, because it was under 250 grams. I think that means, yeah, you don't have to register it with the FAA. That was a big thing, that they came up with one that was small enough and powerful enough to do some of the things that you do with a drone that wasn't registered. These things are 6 feet wide and they're not being registered. That is weird.
And Adam, it's being reported in Dual County, Nebraska, where they have been chasing the drones for the past few days. So at least 3 days this has been going on. So it's actually gone from Colorado and Nebraska, or it's actually across both places now.
Something weird is going on right under our noses. I asked Dex to put this in here because I wanted to put this together. I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to show you the video. Air Force to conduct its first space launch from Guam next year using a 747 jet. We've actually covered this. We covered this on the 19th or 20th. I think we covered it the next day. And I wanted to show you, off of Guam, they are going to be doing this thing where Virgin is going to be doing the Launcher One thing, right? So this is supposedly something like what it's going to look like. They're going to launch a missile, essentially, but with people in it, right? Is that what this is? The missile would contain people in it, or what? I don't get this.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's supposed to. It's another version of their space. It's Virgin's version of space.
What's even
rockets,
weirder?
Right? They launched from a plane.
Wait a second. You know what's really funny about this? Look at what Russia says that its hypersonic missiles do. They launch their missiles via a plane. So I'm sorry. No, I apologize.
No, they launch them
off of other missiles.
But they do launch them. Yep.
They launch their hypersonic missiles off of regular missiles. It's like a gun that shoots guns. Like, seriously. Like, that's crazy, right? They hook up a hypersonic missile to a regular intercontinental ballistic missile, and then the second one takes off of the first one. This thing drops something that looks like a Moab. I mean, look at that. It looks like a Moab. But supposedly people are going to be in that thing at some point. And then that goes up to space. Pretty nuts, right? Well, for this, it's just weird that Guam is that site, and then we have this thing come out of the sky and literally come down. This isn't the only one either. There's videos of this from all over Guam. This is probably just the best. So just to show you again, and then it has this trail, and then it looks like it's in stages. Do you guys get that from this? Like, this looks like it's the final stage of something. And then I don't know what this horizon is. I don't know if that's the clouds or if that's it physically going into the water. I don't understand it. And then what is this other line up here? There's this line, and then what is that? Is that the horizon, or is that the clouds? And then as it passes through, there's a line up here too. There's multiple lines, like something just went there. Those look like trails, right? Look at this. This is a trail from something, right? What is going on in there? Or was this an accident? Were they doing something like the Virgin Mobile thing here and something happened here? What are these trails? This is the weirdest thing ever. And look at how perfectly straight these are. I am so confused by this. So, man, so very confused. I want to look up this real quick. So these are some of this is the one video that this is actually a different one. So let me see here. This is a newer one. No. I do not want that. No. Stop it. You're a bad girl. Sorry about that. Didn't want to get a stupid copyright strike because of a Twitter. Here's the one we're talking about, and this is a better view of it. So I'm going to go zoomed out. Do you see this? This is a trail from something. Or is that power lines? Wait a second. With this higher quality, it almost looks like... Why do people put elevator music over stuff? Look at how it shines like that. So here's the meteor, a.k.a. wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean, Russia or China or NK or Christmas gift. Of course, it's going to freeze. So I wanted to see if there was any new angles of this, because really seems to me like something else is up here. So are those trails or those power lines? From this one, this better quality version almost looks like it's power lines. This one's going through the clouds. That makes so much more sense. Wow. That literally looks like that doesn't look right. Did you see that at the very beginning where it looks like it dropped off? I mean, I understand that. That just doesn't look right. See, right here, there was something. It looked metallic before this. I know that there's the white stripe. Watch at the very, very beginning. There's these like lines, straight lines that are dropping off, almost like little walls to a missile or something. Look, right there. And watch, another one drops off right after the second line it passes. Right there. Like it's falling back. Like it's metallic and it's hitting wind or something. Right here, there was the first one. Then this third kind of bottom one comes off and falls back. And then this third one. What in the heck is that? That is so, so weird. What do you guys think it is? I'd love to hear it. I think it's creepy. There's self-driving pizza delivery now in California. You won't even get a pizza delivery boy. I'm assuming you would go out to the car and pick up the pizza yourself. If you've had this delivered to you, I would love to hear you call in and tell me how that works. And a North Carolina couple called 911 on vacuum thought to be intruder. I'm going to let you get a good chuckle on that on the website. In the meantime, we're going to get to your calls. We have way more serious things going on right now. If you would like to help support us and protect yourself, I would definitely think about an EMP shield. With everything that's going on right now, this is a surefire way. The reason I trust these guys is because these are Keystone tested. They are currently helping the DoD, Homeland Security, and the Texas grid protect themselves. So just makes sense to me that if the military and the government are protecting themselves with them, then it might be smart if we do as well. The thing is most people depend on somebody else to save them. As we've seen in events like Katrina, they will be running home to save their own families if it gets really bad. And after things like Cascadia or an EMP or a CME from a solar flare, which back in 2013 we had a huge one that could have done havoc. And of course, we have one about every 100 years. In our lifetimes, we will have something like this happen. Instead of having all of your stuff fried, including your ham radio, solar system, your generator, your car, your house, which can all be protected by this. Instead of having those all fried, you can actually install one of these and be okay. Again, people say, well, what if the grid never comes back on? Again, if you have one of these on your generator, as long as you have gas stored, which hopefully you do, then you will have energy and electricity. If you have your vehicle and a bug out spot that you want to get to, it's going to be useless if it doesn't work. Again, they make a vehicle model as well. It actually blocks against E1, E2, and E3 phases. Again, you can get one for all different kinds of devices. including your vehicles and generators. Again, that is marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you would like to support us a different way, again, I'll let Dex cover the Nord part because he's the techie, and I'm not smart with that. But I am smart enough to protect myself with a VPN. Dex, can you explain?
Well, that's a good thing.
Go ahead.
It certainly is a good thing that you protect yourself. It's real simple to use. It's easy. I've been using VPNs for years. I've been using for many, many years. Look, it protects you from these intruders that are trying to socially engineer and get your IP and get into your network and hack your computer. It also protects you when you're connected on a Wi-Fi network, whether it's your own network or another network, and it basically secures everything that you're communicating over the internet, so people can't eavesdrop on you. So having a VPN is really critical. It does a lot of other great things, like helps you get around copyrighted content in different countries and things like that. That you can save, I believe, over 80% right now on their website. They have a special for the Foogle fam if you use our link, marfooglenews.vpn, and they also are giving away their new password manager. We've talked a lot about protecting yourself with using great passwords, and the easiest way to do that is with a password manager, and they actually are giving one. They launched a brand new one. They're giving it away included with the product right now if you purchase it, with our code on their website. So easy to use. I highly recommend it.
And again, you can use the code Marfoogle on their website, or you can just go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. It helps support the channel, and it will eventually help us expand. Again, we have a lot more walls to go up against because of the subjects we talk about, so we really appreciate you guys supporting us in every way you can. But again, it's not required, and all of our services are free to everybody. We try to do as much positive help as we can without it, but of course, obviously, a lot of things just require money. So thank you guys. But again, it's not like we love doing it, but I do love representing things I do actually use and trust. EMP Shield especially, I think it's going to end up saving lives. As far as, ground therapy, that's that other one. They're in a kind of a little transition right now, name-wise. But I actually use every single night, and I truly believe it helps. So again, you guys can go on that if you know about that as well. Okay, so we're going to get started. This is going to be really quick because we don't have that in there. Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably from my own, Dex, or anybody else. You should always do your own research. This is all common sense stuff. Consult with professionals. Internet is full of fake news. The internet is full of fake news. So please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, and then if you guys want to share the show, marfoogle.tv, hand that out to somebody. Put it on a poster if you want in your room. Doesn't matter, whatever. Really, I can't tell you to do that, but if you guys want to hand out a card with marfoogle.tv on it, that would share this channel. If you want to share our bigger channel, which is actually at 148,000, according to some, 147 on others. They just did a big purge and it put us backwards. You can share marfoogle.news if you want to go over there for the shorter videos. We do, 10 to 20 minute videos over there. And then Discord, the Creators Corner. We are teaming up with other creators. Obviously, a lot of changes are happening in just a few days. If you are a creator, no matter how big, get in there. Because we have something working with larger creators to protect all of us. One for all and all for one. Again, look at that 100 plus subs and 20 plus vids. You can get into Creators Corner. Exclusive military channel for former and current military in Discord. And then most importantly, sign up for the Marfoogle alerts. We do not only not blitz your emails, we send out probably one every 1 month and a half. This next one is going to be one of the most important we've ever done. So make sure to sign up for Marfoogle alerts if you haven't already. It's super easy. Go to marfooglenews.com and to the top of the page. If you're missing notifications, website notifications are now available. Works with most all browsers and Android. iOS is coming soon. Look for the prompt and click the bell in the bottom right corner. Then you will actually get notified the same day and before the show. So, as you guys know, we have an issue with that. Alrighty, Taddy, Lefty, Lucy, let's get started on these calls. We've got Truth Flicks coming up at you. One of the most controversial callers we have. Right after some of that hot sticky. Okay, wow. He was there already. David from Truth Flicks, what's going on? You are live on Marfoogle TV.
Well, not a whole lot. It's been a while since I called in. I got quite a bit of a heavy topic to talk about. Project Pogo and Project Zephyr, and their ties to, like Jade Helm, which we saw, was that 4 years ago, where they were flying the helicopters in and doing, extractions and practicing, picking people up.
Yeah, that was, and washing off helicopters for some sort of technical, from some sort of radiation. Let's see. Yeah, I bet you can't even find it either. Zephyr. Okay, so go ahead. What information do you have?
Okay, well, so what's going on with Project Pogo and Project Zephyr is basically them using gatekeeper channels. I won't use any specific names. I don't want to hurt nobody's name in case I'm wrong, but there's certain channels that keep the truth at bay, right? You know what Hegelian dialect is. They try to control the narrative,
Yeah.
So, and then your other side of that is that the government eventually is working towards actually taking us truthers up and actually doing away with us so that they can have a internet where we're no longer affecting people's minds, obviously, because us truthers are pretty much waking people up and changing the chance of them having a complete oligarchy.
Yeah, somebody even accused us of being a part of Project Zephyr. I think that's the fancy way of calling somebody a shill,
Pogo,
right?
Project Pogo.
Project Pogo. What is Project Pogo? What is Pogo?
Pogo is the one that uses the gatekeeper channels to attract truth seekers, to attack them and ID them, and to pretty much put them into a category of whether to exterminate, re-educate, or to relocate. You know what I mean?
Oh, weird. Wait. So it's not Project on Government Oversight? That's something different?
That's something completely different, yeah.
Project
Pogo and Zephyr is a bunch of information that a guy named David Goldberg released right before being killed. It was actually a lot of information released by one of his friends because it was a dead drop. Basically, when he died, his thing went out and it released the information,
Huh, that's crazy. And then, so...
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting information came out because obviously, the same thing when Bill Cooper was killed a while back. Remember, he released a whole bunch of information before 9/11 happened, and he predicted that Osama bin Laden was going to be chased in the desert, and they were never going to find the boogeyman, and that this whole thing was staged, right? Well, he shortly died after it. This seems to be a similar scenario where the guy released information on what's going to be happening here from 2021 to 2025, that they're going to be trying to go ahead and be dealing with some of us people speaking the truth. They're going to be trying to get a handle on truth seekers.
And did you see how we covered what I guess what they were going to be talking about at the Bilderberg meeting? Did you see their press release?
Yeah, I briefly saw a little bit about that.
So I'll just pull it up real quick so people know that are new to the show. Or this is the actual press release of the Bilderberg Group, which is obviously the people that are running the world. Last year, obviously, even the Pope went, which was the first time a Pope went. But all of the most powerful, popular people in the world go to this meeting, and they discover it's one of the most secretive as well. They are so secretive that this year, last year, they actually came in all different planes, private jets. Because the year before, they all came into a central airport, and We Are Change, I believe it was, actually saw all these bigwigs and recorded it. You guys can actually go on YouTube and go back to those videos and look at the names and the people there. It's scary. These are the people running the planet, and they are meeting every year for this once a year secret thing. These are the things they were talking about, and they talk about number 9, the weaponization of social media. That is crazy. So,
well, we already know that they repealed the Mundit Act. Remember the government used to have the Mundit Act where they couldn't use propaganda against the citizens, but they repealed that. Now they have the right to use propaganda against us legally.
Yeah, they did. We covered that as well about it. Multiple times actually. So now it's official. So.
Yep. So I just wanted to bring up a little about that though, because Project Pogo and then Project Zephyr, it's pretty serious stuff, man. They do plan on dealing with us people that seek the truth. Project Zephyr is, the other project. It's going to be implemented in 2020 to 21. That they're going to start rolling it out, and then it's supposed to go through to 25. It's where they're going to go ahead and use like power blackouts, flu viruses, other measures to get rid of millions of Americans, who question things.
Supposedly, we have to say supposedly.
Yeah, supposedly, yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, we will be one of the first casualties.
Well, nonetheless, we probably are both going to be, Marf, if we don't be watering down what we be saying anyways, so.
Well, thank you for calling. This is Truthflix. We have, of course, your link on our website. Once it populates, Dex is going to put the link to your stuff so people can reach you, again, right after the show. So thank you for calling in, man. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
No, man, just keep it up, man. We got to go ahead and keep getting the truth out there, and let's not water it down. Much love.
All right, well, thank you, and have a great night. Be safe. I think he said, let's not water it down or water it down. I don't know. Either way, we have to water down what we say. Otherwise, we just won't get anything out. It's either get a lot of information out and slightly confuse, or get no information out, period. Up next, we have Loki. You are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Good evening. How are you doing? I got a couple of things I just want to drop out real quick. And remember, I'm Asperger's syndrome, so I might lose it. I'm not. This is very new for me. But the thing is, first of all, about the internet being cut off. What I noticed is that it seems like there's a lot of things going on that raise the level of insecurity and raise the level of, hey, what's going on? Like if everything that's going on that you have to rely on, like food supply, power, everything. And then power is getting cut off everywhere for different regions. It just raises the level of people not having any idea of what they can depend on. You can't depend on the government agencies like FEMA because they tell you we don't have it. It's raising a general level of insecurity and raising a general level of total of what's going on and we don't know. So more information. Like I say, we don't want to tell you because it would panic people, but really, what keeps people from panicking is knowing what's going on. So it's kind of a weird thing. The thing about earthquakes, if you want to cut off internet, but the earthquakes, bear with me. The Yellowstone caldera is underground by 100 miles, I think, but it runs all the way down to Mexico underground, and it's also tied into Long Valley in California. And the two could go off together, and around the base of the Yellowstone caldera, they've been doing fracking all around that area. And places that had no earthquakes before now have thousands a year or less, a short time. So, all those earthquakes are raising the level of something's raising the level of insecurity in the planet itself. And it is just in the United States. All over the world, there's huge cracks developing in countries that are like miles and miles long and thousands, really deep, And so it's like the whole world is just cracking up. And fracking is just another word for cracking. They're cracking shale. So I don't know what the relationship between these things is, but if anything can trigger anything else, like Cascadia goes off, it could very easily trigger anything else around, like Long Valley and Yellowstone. They all go off at the same time. And I'm in California on the coast, and I figured I'm right on the borderline of the blast zone from Yellowstone, which would take out, you already said some of the figures earlier, it's going to be immense. You know, so they think this happened before. It might have almost wiped out all life here before, 700,000 years ago. Maybe that's why all the caves are underground all through Europe and everything. Maybe people tried to live underground to deal with it. Who knows? But how am I doing, Mark?
Well, I mean, you're just a minute under time, so if you want to say a couple more things, go ahead. But yeah, no, I agree with you on a lot of this, so keep going.
Well, I'm not sure what else there is I can say.
You don't have to. You don't have to go the full 5. We can get probably get one more person in. I do appreciate your call, though. I mean, honestly.
Let's do that. Let me just cut out right now, and you go to the next guy.
All right. Well, you have a great night. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
All right, keep up the good work, man. I'll see you later.
All right, you too. He doesn't even have to. He says he has Asperger's, but he's actually one of my favorite callers because he's always very clear, concise to the point, and always gets a lot of little things out. Last time he actually went overtime, but got so much out. It was a great call. So, looks like we have John live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Hey, I called in before.
Okay, perfect. And then let's see here. Let me pull up your card. It says Laminia cells and hundreds of stars missing in the sky.
Yeah, pull up the cells things first and show a picture of that. It's going to blow your mind.
Okay, so you shared a link with us. And let's pull it up for everybody else to see. It looks like... what is this? Okay, so what are we looking at here? Well, I'm going to full screen it. It looks like a diagram of a cell, I believe.
Yes, a human cell, and it looks like the cross that Christ was crucified on. It's the binding cells of the human.
So it actually looks like this? Like I always wondered, like,
yes, it's that.
That's nuts.
Yes, it's actual. Yeah. My stupid Google thing ain't working right now. Oh my God. Images. Okay. Yeah.
So it basically shows the different makeup of it: the B chain and the G chain, and in the middle the A chain. So I guess it's A, B, and G. So
yes, and
go ahead.
Now, if this ain't divine intervention, I don't know what is. Now, pull up the thing about this was published on December 23rd, 2019. Hundreds of stars missing in the sky.
Let's see here. Oh, weird. Okay, hold on. Now, Dex, I only see one link here, but I'm going to try this other one. One sec. And assuming we're pulling it up, go ahead and explain it.
Now, the thing is, they said, the Bible says, look for the signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars. Now, I'm really, really starting to think with all the plane farts that they're hiding something. I mean, you can't go outside and you can't even see the sun anymore. And when you do see the sun, it's a white sun. Do you ever remember the sun being white? I always remember a yellowish orange. You know?
I the thing is so again, I've been kind of down a couple other holes too, because Jacob Israel, a good friend of mine who also has a channel, he just had David Guy Levy on his channel, who is the director of the Mandela Effect movie. And then I started thinking about all that kind of stuff. And of course, I always ask the what ifs and all that. But he talks about, like, the kind of the living in a simulation theory or something like that, that there's glitches going on. This is just
you want to talk,
weird.
You want to talk about glitches? If you want to look up YouTube right now, look up white blinking sun. I don't know why this has never been on the news or nothing, but it is. I've seen it, happen too before. I wish I had my camera when it was doing it, but it's insane. It's literally flashing in the sky like a. Just look that up and check that out. I mean, it's just scary crap.
So it says astronomers think they might have finally solved a stellar mystery that's been puzzling scientists for more than 40 years. Why a strange star called AR Scopely flashes brightly and fades every 2 minutes. Is this what you're talking about?
Oh no, not that one. I think you're talking about the one that did you find the one that's doing the different colors like the red, blue, and that?
Oh, so okay. So by the way, I've seen that myself, and is that something
that one? It's
all of a sudden is weird or what?
Yeah, and years ago they tried to explain it that this guy made this disco star and put it up there or something. I forget the link to that. It's just so much information. But no, it's here. Where is it? I'm gonna.
So wait. Let me ask you this: how were you gonna try to connect the Lamenia cell, which kind of looks like a crucifix, to be honest, and then the stars missing in the sky? Basically, you're saying that you think that the plane farts have something to do with it, or kind of. Maybe they're physically covering them up with somehow. That's the weird thing. Like everything that's happening in the sky is super weird. Like everybody looking up is like, what is going on? Everybody remembers the sky being different. People don't remember plane farts at all back in the day, even though it's supposed to be condensation, which I think that word is even like a bad one, right? So what do you think it really is? That's what I don't get.
I'm thinking it's the end of times. I do believe that.
Signs in the stars in the sky?
It says solar blinking sun from 5/15/2019.
Ooh, this sounds interesting. Okay, so let me 1 sec. Okay, so read me that title again.
Solar blinking sun from 5/15/2019.
Solar blinking sun from 5-15-19.
2019, yes. I mean, look, you can't even see anything up in the sky anymore. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're amping everything up. They got it. Believe me, we all know they know something we don't know, and they're hiding something because that might even be an artificial sun they put up there, because I think our sun is fading in that, and we're having solar eclipses, and they're trying to hide that. And if they weren't doing this, there'd be a mass panic right now. And it just blows my mind that we're the only ones that are awake to this stuff, and everybody else is looking down at their phones, not noticing nothing. It amazes me.
So now, okay, that's freaky. So this could be a very, 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 very foggy night. I don't know though. There's not enough so I want to, Rose W is 97 subscribers. She says, I don't use any filters. This color of the sky and around my sun appears green. It says, I can't always catching it. Flashing, blinking all the time. There are certain times of the day that it will blink better than others. This was taken in the afternoon. It takes time, practice, and joy to achieve this. Thank you to my masters.
See, you can't even find the other stuff anymore. I put in different links, and I can't even find the one I was looking for. There was a bunch of them. You can't find nothing.
I just wonder if this was a camera thing or if this was. Because I have seen the black dot in the middle, and some of my friends, like I've talked to Blue Kool-Aid, and I've gone back and forth, kind of at comment wars with Naughty Beaver. He's shouted me out. I've shouted at him. And then Sun Simulator guys, like, there's Jeff P., I believe, is the Sun Simulator expert. There's all sorts of things that are going on out there, and nothing is really explainable.
I saw it blinking one day when my girlfriend was still alive, because she passed in that, but we thought the world was ending that day. I'm just in there like, what the heck is going on? This is insane. And the messed up part, I wish I had the camera, because it was flashing. I was in the trailer, and it was flashing. You could see it flashing from there and blinking and flashing on the wall, but the other light from coming from the other window wasn't flashing, so that means there was another light source, because that would have been flashing too. It just freaked the crap out of me.
Yeah, sometimes you see those kind of things and you're just like, what the heck just happened? Well, we did go over time, but it was a very interesting subject, John. Let me ask you too, again, if any of you guys have seen this kind of stuff, call in at 224-400-MARF. I appreciate you, John, and I would love for you to call in again, okay?
Yeah, I just got two more quick things. Just check out Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil, and the channel Joshy Bear. The guy's kind of out there, but he knows his stuff about the economy and stuff.
No, I like Joshy Bear. In fact, I've shouted him out before. What in the world?
Yeah,
he needs to be growing. He was at 13. I think they took away people.
Yeah, I mean, he's out there, but man, I love the guy. He talks about health stuff and that, but yeah, I'll let you go on overtime. So,
no worries.
God bless you.
What was that? You said Paul Harvey, right? Let me get that other guy too.
Me?
You said Paul Harvey, right? I just wanted to make sure I got it.
Paul Harvey.
I check him out.
It's Paul Harvey, If I Were the Devil. This was from 1965. You watch that, that's going to blow your mind. It's just it's insane what the guy. Watch it, and your mind's going to be blown, man.
All right, I love when you guys suggest new stuff. Joshy Bear too. He shouted me out a while back, and I really appreciated his. He said some really nice things. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Dude.
All right. Well, you have a great night. Bye, John.
God bless everybody, and have a good night.
All right, you too. Up next, we have Doug, and then here's the crazy part. Oh, man, this is going to be going. All right, Doug, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What is going on?
Hello. Hey, I'm calling from Connecticut, and I was already going to try to call tonight for the first time, but then an earlier caller, I think the very first caller, touched on the topic that I wanted to, which is that Project Ziffer and Pogo, Cypher and Pogo.
Now,
but
is it true here? It says that YouTube source, Friends of David Goldberg. Is this?
That's right.
You're friends with David Goldberg?
No, that's the name of the channel.
Oh, okay.
It's called Friends of David Goldberg, and there's so anyway. I believe that this is where the Project Ziffer and Pogo issue got broken in the news on here in alternative news a few weeks ago. That's where I had heard about it. And then this weekend I was watching these videos from it, and had plenty of time and watched them, and they're very, very disturbing. And I was surprised that the previous caller didn't dive into the really heavy duty points.
Well, the reason why is because we want to show you where to go and then keep the platform going, because most people are disappearing like crazy. I just lost 3 friends. Rest in YouTube peace today. So that's why.
Okay. So maybe I can't even say then the things that I wanted to say.
Well, it depends. I mean, can you point us to the right direction so we can? So you're talking about obviously the G word that it says all over this. Yeah, that's a word that will kind of get you deleted real quick.
Yeah, I don't see any reason we have to say that word.
Well, as long as you're careful, go ahead. I mean, just try to keep in mind. If you've watched my show before, you kind of know.
Slow. Yeah, I've listened to you a lot for about a year or so. So if I'll go slow, and if you see something I need to stop, just stop me. anyway, the salient point is he's saying that there's a whole bunch of awoke people that kind of are onto these kind of issues that we talk about on the show with the government. And before engineered, controlled collapse of the economy somewhere in the 2021 to 2025 time frame, they're going to go through, forces are going to go around and round up people and take them to underground bases, and they're going to do it by sending drones out for the most part and using like some kind of laser to cut a hole in their window, fly into their home, and blow scopolamine in their face, which will turn them into, this is like used in South America in places, it turns you into kind of a suggestible sleepwalking zombie, and just give you commands to walk outside to a waiting van, and they're going to take those people to underground bases, he says, and do unspeakable things to them, tear their limbs off without anesthetic, and hook them up to life extension machines and torture them and harvest adrenochrome from them and keep them alive for hundreds of years, not allow you even to have death. And meanwhile, up here, that'll be leading up to an economic collapse that's engineered, at which time they'll institute microchipping of people in order to get food. And then coming out on the other side of that a few years later will be just a totally controlled society that's nothing like America that we have today. And his whole message is, I'm telling you this so you can get out of America before this happens. Because there's no way to.
Do you think you're going to be able to go anywhere out? And by the way, when you say all of those things at once, people, the average person would go, "This guy's nuts. He's one of those loopy people, right?" But when you actually think about it, when you actually know some of the stuff, I think the Chrome, the AD Reno Chrome, that's a big one. You know that something's really touchy when you can't talk about it. That means that there's something there that's, that's creepy. When you look up what he just said, there's some really creepy real stuff that's been going on for, ever since before we were all born, with the kind of human blood thing. It's just really creepy. So again, I don't think that that's crazy, that whole thing together. It's just depending on, whose theory you're coming from. I think there's a lot more than that even. That's only like 10% of what's going to happen when you put it all in one sentence. Yeah, it's not going to happen over a week. You're talking about RFID chips, all this stuff that's going on that's going to happen. It happens in little baby steps and nobody even notices.
Oh, one other fundamental part I forgot to mention is that he said, and it may be one of those projects, is that AI will be employed when they're doing this rounding up of people to stand in for them online and on their social media. It's so advanced that it will continue to post to their social media to make it seem like they're still there. They haven't been taken away. It'll continue to leave voice messages with their family and talk, engage with people in such a way as to confuse things and make it seem like they're still there, while meanwhile people are just gradually being taken away.
Like Lyrebird. Have you heard of Lyrebird? It's now a new program that can take any amount of samples. If they took the samples of my YouTube channel and took my voice, they could actually recreate my voice and say whatever they wanted with it. It's kind of like the voice version of deep fakes. So they could call my mom and say, "Oh, he's okay." Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
That's pretty nuts.
So I know that all this is completely outrageous, and the thing that is about it is this guy's trying to give you tips on how to leave the country before this happens and where you could go. But the thing is, it strikes at a really central fear of they're not, and he hits on this a lot, is that they're not going to give you the ability to die. They're going to take that from you and put you into this torture situation. If you're, somebody like us who knows about any of this stuff. He said that'll be between 5 and 10 million people. and the rest will stay up here on the surface and go through all this collapse scenario.
Well, it's a very scary scenario thought.
It's terrifying.
Just to let you know, we did.
I just wanted to bring it out.
We did, Doug. We did pass time. Is there one more thought that you wanted to bring out before you leave?
No, I just want to say this. I just wanted to get this out there for discussion so we can evaluate. Is there any truth to this? Because I'd love to be convinced that it's not true at all. I would love to be able to believe that.
I love it.
That's really all I have.
Well, I love that you're not. You know, a lot of people are just they're very cement in whatever theory they may have adapted at the time. I really love when people call and say, "Hey, can we all look at this together? Can we all confirm this?" If you look at my Twitter feed, I always, if I see something that interests me or piques my interest, I say, "Hey, please confirm. Show me evidence. Show me this. Show me that." Let's all do that, especially on things like that, because that's a very scary thought. So I appreciate your call, Doug, and I would love for you to call in again. It's your first time call. Hopefully it's not your last.
Well, very good. Well, I really appreciate your show.
All right. Well, thank you for watching every day. Or at least, yeah. Have a good day, Doug. All right?
Yeah, I'm always watching for the next show. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. And then up next we have Paula, and it looks like Paula says America gives up American control and has a link here. So let's get Paula on. All right, here we go. Paula, you are live on Marfoogle TV. What's going on?
Oh, shoot. Let me hit mute. Okay. Dex sent you the link?
Yes, it looks like I have a link in my box right now. Okay, so I'll pull up this link. Can you explain what we're about to pull up on the screen?
We don't control the internet. Obama handed it over to the UN through the ICANN, and Republicans tried to stop it, and they couldn't get it stopped. So we do not have control of the internet.
And this is why everybody is, right now, everybody was tweeting me, messaging me, saying basically the UN is going to completely control. And this is what we're talking about with NATO, UN, this whole thing with the global system of internet. I'm gone. Like things like this are gone. That's why I said it's just kind of don't ever put anything in anything, because you never know when life is going to change and go the opposite way. It's just crazy.
I just wanted to let you know, fill you in on, but he did this in 2016, just before Trump took over.
Oh, I know. We kind of covered this when I started. Look at this. This is remember net neutrality, free internet. If you go under DuckDuckGo, there's a whole bunch of other articles from Forbes and other, if anybody wants to check, but you got to use DuckDuckGo to get any information right. Absolutely. No, I get what you're saying. It says, so we'll link this so everybody can go in detail and read this article that you shared with us. Essentially, and I remember the whole net neutrality thing was going on, the ICANN tests were going on, the whole transfer of all of this weird stuff, and the disappearing of domains, all sorts of weird things were going on. So net
neutrality was the cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Net neutrality. While everybody was worried about this went under the table.
Well, and remember they had closed door meetings on this. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally in the bottom basement of the White House about the internet. I mean, people don't realize this is one step to, before a WW or before a global conflict is the complete control of information, especially if you're planning the thing.
Yes.
I get you. Well, Paula, is there anything else you wanted to say before you go?
No, that's it. I just, that little quick tidbit.
Well, thank you so much, Paula.
Well, you have a great night. Hey, Foogle family, y'all take care.
All right, Paula. Well, we'll make this information available on our website, marfooglenews.com, and we'll make sure that the word gets out, okay?
Okay, thank you. Have a great night.
All right, you too. God bless. Again, this article and the subject to basically go over and search will be on the website before the end of the show. All right, you are live on Marfoogle TV. This is Adam.
Hey, Adam. How's it going?
Good. So, again, this is 11 Pagan 11, and you wanted to talk about Cascadia. NASA planes are now drones and methane exposure. What's going on with this?
Yeah, we've been in Discord, and we've been chit-chatting amongst all of us. I've been up in the Washington chat, and a lot of folks up there have been complaining of, headache, nausea, dizziness, blurred vision. Some have actually thrown up and stuff. And I kind of
my wife's one of them.
People in okay, see, and everybody is complaining about this. So I got to digging and I got to looking, and these are all symptoms of methane exposure.
Now, so another, and she's been taking, either, trading off ibuprofen or Aleve every day. I have had my own kind of set of different things happening. Now, what she's talking about too is, one thing that we covered a couple weeks ago is methane coming up in the Washington coast. They already found Oregon, they found California. Out in the water, they were having these huge cracks open up and methane come out, which were signs of the fault line kind of moving, right? Well, then Washington just happened. So now they had these huge plumes of methane coming out of the water, which was kind of a sign that there was cracks and something was coming up. There's something stirring down there. So you think it's from the methane coming up from the Cascadia? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have solid, proof. I haven't, gone to the doctor and had, my blood test. I don't even know what I would go and what kind of test I would ask for. But, all these people are having the same symptoms, and then, it just kind of all adds up. And I'm honestly thinking that that's what's going on and why so many people are having all these symptoms, especially up there in Washington and down here in California. I haven't really chatted with Oregon too much. I've just started chatting with them, so I don't know too much of what's going on over there.
Well, that could also be from the stuff that's getting, sprayed too, but, we don't know. Or what if that's...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, though. As far as the NASA planes going up and down the coast, we covered that. You're talking about they actually have flight records of them flying all the way up and down the Cascadia fault line. Why? I mean, literally, back and forth.
Yeah, and they got it to where they would have 3 planes up at a time. They would mostly have 2 on the West Coast and 1 sometimes in, around Texas area, sometimes, up around the New Madrid. Well, it seems like all of a sudden, once everybody started chatting online about, hey, we're catching these NASA planes on flight radar. Well, all of a sudden, NASA is no longer on flight radar anymore. Nobody can find it. It's been a week.
What?
That's just impossible. Exactly. They haven't been up in at least a week. And you can't tell me all these earthquakes have been happening in the Cascadia off in the coast up by Canada, down by Oregon today, really bad. All these quakes are happening and they're not up there. There's no way. So I think, everybody uses drones, and like you guys said, they don't have to register them. And so that's why they're doing the grid flight patterns everywhere, and they're using infrared because they're detecting the heat. And they're doing it at night because less people are moving around. And they're mapping these areas out grid-wise, and everybody's flying drones, so nobody's going to.
Oh my gosh! Wait a second.
Drone.
Oh my gosh! What movie was that from? Oh my gosh, what movie was it from where they were trying to, was it How It Ends? Where they were trying to map it out to, so. Oh my gosh. What movie was it where they were mapping it out because they knew something was going to happen, and they needed to get the... Oh my gosh. No, it wasn't even a movie. This was real life. This was a caller. Oh my gosh, anybody that's here, please, some hardcore Marfoogle watchers, do you remember when the caller called in and he was related with military, and they said that they were mapping everything out because after it they need to put everything back together? I don't know if you've watched, but they're doing mapping projects because they know that the West Coast is going to be gone. So they need to map out and do all sorts of... oh my gosh. Dex, are you there? Were you even around for this? This is a long time ago, and it just triggered in my head.
It sounds familiar.
They were mapping...
I was trying to search for it.
They were doing mapping projects before Cascadia goes off. Oh my gosh. And this was something we confirmed, and... I would love it. I need to go to the chat. I need to blow this up real quick because I need to see if anybody... I remember Adam,
Someone
yes. I remember the caller. Oh, everybody's saying it. This was a few months ago, and everybody is agreeing right now.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sounds right. Everybody was mapping. And they said, and they were... It was so creepy. The call was so creepy because everybody knew it was real. And they said that they needed to map all of the stuff that they were doing satellite readings beforehand, and they had to get it done quick. They had to get
cemeteries and graves.
Oh my gosh, that was it, Dex. So they had to map out all of the cemeteries and graves by a deadline, and they were pushing and pushing and pushing because all of the dead bodies in... Oh my gosh, all of the dead bodies.
It'd make everybody sick.
But not only that, they would have to map out where everybody's dead went. Because after the Great Flood, everything is going to be different. The cemetery map guy. Yeah. We got to find that we got to find that episode. Do you guys see how this goes together? The guy called in, and it was so real. He basically does this mapping project, and he said that they had to map all the cemeteries and all of all of the dead in the entire West Coast. Oh.
Yeah, nobody pays attention to drones because everybody's flying them now.
Why are they mapping in there then? What is going to happen to the center of the country? Why are they mapping? Are they doing it before and after? Now they've moved from one state to the next?
They're going state by state.
And
maybe that's the 21 states preparing.
The new Navy map, and even if the new Navy map had nothing to do with it, what if they're mapping of before and after the United States before whatever is going to go down happens? Holy moly.
Wow.
Things like this,
yes.
And this is months and months ago. Creepy. This is what I'm talking about, because we do this every night, and then we get all of you guys bringing in information, and then maybe something comes in, and it's just a little tiny thing, but we don't think anything of it. But then somebody else brings in, or some other story that connects to it. That is why I love doing this. That is why I love doing this. That is nuts.
It's an amazing show, and I have just been like, holding on to this information, and I'm going, oh my gosh, it's mind blowing because I know it's just a little piece of the puzzle, but now we're getting a clearer and clearer picture, and it's just mind blowing what's going on.
It's starting to come together.
With all these quakes, we need to be prepared. We know what's coming, and the more information we have, the more knowledge we have, which that means we're in the light. We have more light, we're safer in the light, and we know what's coming, and just really, we got to start paying attention a lot more than what we're doing.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Somebody else just put another thing together. SPD was mapping the Pike Place Market. Holy crud. I'm going to show you guys this real quick. Oh my gosh. Somebody else just put in a third part of this. Why? Oh man. Okay. So, I'm telling you guys, and vindication will come, and it will suck when it does. Let's see here.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't it? Do you remember that just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
Public, the guy down at the market saying,
Yeah.
Pike Place Market is getting mapped, and the cops were they were all doing this drill, and
they had the cops everywhere.
Yep, I'm trying to find it right here. Watch this. This is freaky. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
you did that interview with that one guy.
Yep, and do you remember what he said? I'm gonna play it word for word here for just now. This is holy mackerel.
Yeah,
SPD mapping
creepier and creepier.
Okay, listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna plug this in. You guys got to hear this. This is just nuts. Okay. I want to say his name is Joe. Hold on. I'm going to play this. You guys got to listen to this. Hits because of who lives here and what lives here. I'm going to skip forward here real quick. Let's see here. Okay, this is just creepy. I interviewed this gentleman in person. Okay, for the record, state your name.
Joe Parrish.
So, have you? So you saw something down at the market that was a little disturbing a couple nights ago, or yesterday?
Yeah.
What exactly did you see?
Well, from what I saw, it appeared as if the police department, the SPD here, it looked like they were preparing for some major disaster. Like literally, it looked like something that worse than the WTO riots we had back in the day. It was like 100 cops, probably no exaggeration at all, and they were wearing gas masks. Like they had baton, like they were doing.
What do you mean
drill.
by gas masks?
Like actual face masks.
Ones or like
no,
real
this
ones?
was like real set. They were geared up for something major, man. And there was no exaggeration. More than 50. There was like 100 of them, and they were up fixing to something great.
Now, for anybody that knows the market, you said that they actually kind of did kind of a mapping thing, and they went through locales.
That's what it looked like. They were like preparing, mapping out areas, and like something serious like that. They were literally formatting for something.
Now, is there anything out of the ordinary about that for here? You've been at the market for a long time.
Way out of the ordinary. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. Like I said, like it was, other than when the WTO riot happened and all that action was going on, this was like they were preparing, like I said, for something worse than that.
For those too young to remember, what year was that about?
Oh boy, that I couldn't place a certain exact date on that, but it was that was over 10 years, 15, 20 years
like
ago. That
or
was like 2000, maybe.
I think that was before.
It's like 20 years almost.
9/11.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was bad, but when I saw this, I'm kind of worried about being down here tomorrow, just see what might actually happen. Again,
this was the show that we talked about this, and I didn't even think about it until the chat brought this up. And I'm going to bring the caller back in here. Let's see here. Just to go back to the thumbnail on this. I didn't even think about it. November 3rd, SPD mapping the city. Whoops. Here we go. Whoa. Man, I did it again. Dang touchscreen. And again, let's just go round and round in circles. Yeah, check that out. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna start. Look at this. SPD mapping city wearing masks. What in the world is going on? So, it's just like more and more we just keep seeing the weirdest stuff happen, and I'm telling you guys, this is just, it's like everything is starting to come together. Paula, thank you for putting that little piece in the puzzle, because I honestly just I think they know how bad it's going to be, and they're not telling us how bad it's going to be. I don't think maybe they don't know when. I do know military thinks it should have already happened. So there's that.
Yeah, so just be ready. We know it's coming, and just keep watching for these. Just keep researching every day. Keep looking for signs around you and what's going on. Pay attention to these quakes that are happening out on the coast, out on the Marfoogle, and in the Cascadia range. Like, they're all 10-kilometer depths. I understand they sometimes auto-generate these depths, but with these being in the area that they're happening, you would think they would be on top of it and give us a correct depth. You know, I mean, why are they allowing these to, quote, auto-generate automatically at 10 kilometers deep? That's magma movement. And then with the methane and everything else, it all points to it's the magma moving underneath us. And we got to watch these volcanoes before we watch for the earthquake. We're going to have the earthquake or the volcano first. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I hear you. Well, we're gonna put the. Oh, geez, I didn't even pull this up either. This is the exposure symptoms. I'll put this up, and we'll also link this up too, so the people can see it that live in the Northwest. You know, if you have this, you can go check this out. Again, I want to meet up with my peeps here. Says a person exposed to methane gas is most likely to suffer from nausea and vomiting. That is so weird. Even my daughter has been getting nausea, even just driving around the Northwest. Especially, okay, I'll leave that. Nobody's gonna believe me, but when we've been driving along the waterfront, we've all been getting nauseous.
Yeah.
I'm literally never even thought of this. I never thought of methane as even a cause of it.
If you're dehydrated, you're more susceptible to it, and it will also cause dehydration. So we got to start taking in more water, because that'll help. That'll help our body fight against it a little bit.
Would this dehydrate us? I wonder.
Yes. Yes,
because
it will dehydrate you.
You're not getting the correct amount of oxygen compared to. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in. You have a beautiful night. Always love your calls. We're going to, of course, put your information down on our website as well. We couldn't do without. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thanks a lot, Adam. You all have a good night, okay?
All right. We'll come over and visit you too. All right. Bye-bye. Man, there are so many awesome, amazing people in this Foogle fam. I mean that. As you guys know, here's the thing. I love that so many people have watched this show so many times. Like, we have so many people that are witness to this. Like, we keep covering this, and everybody's here to be like, have that aha moment with me. There's like hundreds of you that were like, yes, we were here for that. That's amazing, you guys. Like, it literally makes me want to cry. Like, you guys are freaking awesome. Like, I feel like I'm in an actual family with so many of you. You guys have had my back since day one. Again, that kind of it makes me want to bring up the fact that, whatever Tyler's going through from Secure Team 10, I hope that people will get his back. You know, whatever they're doing, God forgives for whatever. And if there's nothing to forgive for, then they should have his back. And if he needs help or whatever, we should all be reaching out and trying to help each other instead of pushing each other down. Susan Donahue, get prepped up, get prayed up, put on the full armor of God. There's more and more that we need to do that now more than ever, especially if you're in the Northwest. Ilea, I don't know if that's a repeat. Yellowstone did erupt in 1700 with the magnitude 9.0. Maybe I just skipped Susan Donahue. I don't think I did. I did. Sorry, Susan Donahue. I didn't see that. You know, OBS has been having a problem doing that. Gemma Taylor, welcome to the family. I mean that. Colleen Luce Wilson, and thank you again. Woman of Wonder, again, I cannot say thank you enough. To your husband as well. That was a beautiful picture of both of you. I would love to meet you guys someday. Jamie Martini Franklin, may be soldiers knowing what they did to their DNA. Oh my gosh. Okay, Dex, I don't know if you saw that too. Maybe they don't want soldiers sending in their DNA because they are getting mandatory and it's changing them. That's a thought too, Dex. Maybe the soldiers are getting mandatory changes. Hold on, I got to plug you back in. That's a crazy thought too. Actually, Jamie Martini Franklin, that's actually pretty that's common sense to do. I mean, common sense C theories. You know what I mean? Dex, are you back on? I'm sorry, I unplugged you, so I'm like trying to get everything back.
No, that is another possible scenario. I mean,
I didn't think about that.
Very well be it.
Because we've talked about how they mandatorily have to, you know, get certain things that the public doesn't. Oh, and then the smallpox vaccination for smallpox has been basically wiped out off of the earth since the 80s. They said that it was completely wiped out from the planet. There was only 2 places that have smallpox vials. One of them blew up, and one of them had a guy mysteriously disappear and suicide by drowning. It's kind of weird. One of them is in Russia. One of them is in Atlanta, Georgia, which Atlanta, Georgia has had a lot of weird things happen in general. There's whole videos about how weird and how creepy Atlanta, Georgia is, including the Georgia Guidestones, if that isn't a sign from somebody. And then, yeah, just the whole thing that's been going down. Like, this is nuts. And then they are actually getting in the military, which, by the way, people said, 20 years ago I got smallpox via nations for smallpox. Then they didn't. They didn't do it for a while. Now the government is ordering it for, they're spending $2.7 billion or something on a vaccination via nation for something that doesn't exist. And the lab that carries it caught fire and exploded. Just weird stuff. This is within days of the oil thing blowing up, and Italy blowing up, and you guys know. You watch the show, so pretty awesome. Love having people that are all like on the same page here. And if you're not on the same page, welcome, and soon you'll get caught up. Kevin Johnson, I miss watching you live. Glad your sleeping schedule is better though. Hey, how's baby Marf? Violet is beautiful. Thank you for asking. She's like now sitting up. We have those little like bouncy chairs, and she's been sitting up, and she's rolling over and all sorts of firsts. So, and laughing. That just happened 2 weeks ago. The first laugh, and then we just had the first grunt. It was so funny. She got, argh! And then once she learns a sound, she does it over and over and over again. She, of course, is my 3rd daughter, so I'm officially going to go bald 10 years earlier. Summer Rose, thank you for subscribing. Carol Hankinson, thank you so much. Christian, me, and another Foogle have found that dizziness is also associated with tremors. That's amazing. Christian, that's awesome, and it's awesome that everybody's hanging out in Discord. You have to register commercial drones through FAA, says Christian. Yes, exactly, and these are not being registered. That's why everybody's freaking out. These are big drones, and they're not like, helicopter drones. These are planes that are going in grid formation with equipment strapped to them. So they're doing some sort of survey. It's not apparently by the government, or the sheriff's department doesn't know. Nobody knows what they're doing with it. And it's not hobbyists. So who the hell's doing it? And somebody tried to chase it and ran out of gas. So what are these drones? How do they last so long? Angela's Life has subscribed. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Anybody who donated, it is not required. You never have to do it again, but I appreciate you guys doing it. Also, we are working on possibly doing a show with a collab. I talked about it with Red Pill 78, us possibly doing a show where all the super chats of a certain show going to a certain charity. Of course, our whole shirt line went towards Cars for Heroes. We're going to end up tallying that and doing that and making that official. So thank you guys for helping us help others. Thank you guys for helping us help other channels as well. Dex, man, this is just like one aha moment after another.
Yeah, there's a lot of dots we actually connected in this show, from not only from the callers but from the news, and it's almost not coincidental when you see some of these things happen at the same time, right?
It's just nuts. I mean, like, literally, yeah. I rarely go like, oh my gosh, like, this is nuts. This show was nuts.
Yeah.
Well, Dax.
Well, great job. This was really good. Thanks for putting this together, Adam, for the fam and everybody. Appreciate all you do, and much love to everybody.
So now it is officially time for me to make a fool out of myself. Some would say it's actually not the end of the show. It's the beginning of the shoutro. It's not a shout out. It's not an outro. It's where I sing a song of satisfaction to no one and rap every name in the chat. If you're new here, you might want to try it out. Otherwise, it's the gateway drug to singing. All right, you guys, I hope that everyone has an amazing, amazing night. Please be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. In your face, BCM. Thank you so much for watching. It is Keemstar, Richard Borba, It's the Blessing, Foxing Awesome, and Guru Dog. Thank you guys for watching the show tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. Island of the Crow, Susie Q, thank you so much for watching. Cindy Griffin, thank you for watching. Kristen H, thank you for watching. Shastina, thank you for watching. Peachy1093, thanks for hanging out with me. Dave SCQ, Scott from OZ, and Jay Martini. It's Skate and Red Cap Goblin. Those guys, I haven't seen them in a minute. This is my screen name, Morgan Blake. Hey, got the Holly with the West Spider, Arnie Purty and the Triple A, Michael Jordy and the Gary Ray. Hey, RGL. Hey, Alvin Phillips. Hey, Unknown User. Hey, Peggy Sue. always gotta get I always gotta get in the zone. It's all freestyle on the shout show. With 104.Funky Marv. With 104.Funky Marv. With 104.Funky Marv. I got to go. I've got to go. Oh, I've got to go. And gotta go with a bit of great show. Hey, you've got that carry, right? I've got that sky blazer. I've got that T-Lock 88. Hey, Salvador Sanchez. Hey, Susie Q. Hey, Jojo, I like me for me. And Bill for last and Calichuco. I see Hellraiser. Hey there, Genesee. Ooh, drinking that Mama Henry and that Hennessy. I've got a Mrs. Fish and that Big D. I've got that Moab Terry. Hey, Elise and the Scott from Mosey with Sheila Hopkins. I got that Kay Gabberry and that Lemonade Genesee. Got that Lydia Twinner. Give me that Alice Carly and a winner. I'll bring you Son of Mercy and the Nancy Hare. Bring me that Carrie Ray. Bring me that Diane. Bring me J.R.T. Bell. Hell's having that amazing baby. Got that Dex J Snapper Snaps and I hope you're doing bad. Got that All Souls Matter. We've got the wood bar down and the two you and the gear. Gotta bring it back with the Q with tip and the Cindy sisters. I'm on. From the heart, bring it all the way. You know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of funk. If you hit the like button, I'll know it and say your name. I just saw you do it. I know who you are. Oh, thank you. You too, Olivia. Oh, Michelle Lowe, thank you for pressing like. Oh, Will McFarland, thank you so much. Oh, I just saw that, Scott. Thank you. Oh, it looks like Google Marfoogle #1 News just hit it. I tell you they will go. One God wanna see it go back home. Other and Danielle, John Sue and that. Hey, Nancy Hale and Planet X wasn't. Hey, Belton Nooker. Hey, Kobe Doo. Hey, West Virginia prepared mine. Hi, Dave MCQ. Hey, Glory White. Hey, Gusta Starts in the Jill case. It is so simple. Savvy gun and the danger doing ya. Bones and the unleashed carry ray. Empty top forever in the armies and baby J on a pale horse. Superman Sweden with the Paul Blue Long. Hope on a new rise with the Bobby Williford. Hey, Lucky Tiki 2 got the Sherry Circle with the Daniel Andrews. Hey, Leticia. about to change. I think we gotta go home. You know what? I like this one better. I'm gonna have to go to Lincoln. Yeah. Hi. I just wanted to tell a joke with West Oats. I just wanted to go smoke by where Wesley by, and I want that boat, and I get that taco with angel tortilla. Got a cold pick of your 78. Got to bring it so late. With the North Olympics, yeah. Got to bring it right back, yeah. Also fall from 3 days off. Lot t-shirts stuck and that turkey dinner for. No, I've got to bring it. No, I've got to bring it. Cats are people too. I love you. And how much I love me, I know. I know. Corey done says good night. Got to bring and I'm chilling right. Got that show cat 22. That loop-de-loop with one loop, yeah. Oh man. Got that Gloria White and then Mrs. Silver. How can we band for ourselves and give me band? And Ronnie Brown goes sending me a letter like Tim T. I like scorched earth, we gonna see. Mark Blake, go fake yourself a dad. Thank you, Danger Jr., Wolf TV Zachary, and JR Pale Horse. I appreciate you. I just wish I could fly away to a different place where everyone is positive and everyone loves each other. It's called Marfoogle. It's called Marfoogle. It's called Marfoogle. I used to look back in the sky way back when I used to hang out with Mr. Glenn. I used to wear the jean outfits, but of course Lana Jean didn't have this. That drive-man's place back in the day with Bones in West Virginia. Back when Lucky Ticky 2 was just a Ricky Savage away from my leash. I brought it down and Sharon M said, Denal Andrews, you better go get yourself a friend. Queen Mafia, I got to bring it back now. Denise Parker, thank you. 4 Simmies for me and CJ Blaze. Misty knows the deal. Peggy Sue, thank you. And Nikki in the Hickey void. No, you aren't gonna hit it here and tell Lisa how it goes. Turkey, turkey, at that day. Beverly McGovern, what do you say? Hey. Tim T. Hey, Lindy Kaz and Atlanta Jean. Hey, thank you for watching me. Hey, Little Red, big smile. Thank you for being here for a while. It's like Mr. Rogers with bondage. I think that's what it means, Mr. Fondage. I just wish I could go back to where I was. If the media wasn't gone, then I must be smoking crack. 'Cause it's common sense, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Howdy ho. That's a bunch of poo. time for the funky moth now. Hey, I just sit still. Hey, we just go down. Hey, we just do it all the way back now. We said now, hey, Capucha. Doing your best. To the music. Jeff Lusty. Smelly Mustard. MJ told forever, get your night. Teresa K. RJL and the Mrs. Jenny C and Mr. K. Hey, hey. Alfred Fearless, Peel Living. Got that dug in and we will change him free. EbolaOutbreak.com. What in the heck? You know, I was walking down the street yesterday, I think it was, and I saw a kid and he had a Marfoogle t-shirt on, and I said, hey, you like that show? And he said, no, my mom threw it out. I just needed a clean shirt. I said, wow, who's your mom? And then I realized it was my daughter. Hey! Lindy Kaz, thank you very much. All-righter, Jay Bird, thank you very much. Teresa K says we need a Marfoogle app. That is dang right. Yabba Dabba Sexy, you did deserve a rent. Shazina, I like me for me. QT Kitty, move to the Dales. It's time to bring it out home. Time to bring it on home. George Veenstra. George Veenstra's gonna bring it on home. You know what we talking about. You know we bring it down. Rejoice. Well, I just gonna spit on that. Sherry Zergo got it purple, Trinity red or blue pill. Hating on them blue John, none of your beer. Got that afro with that Mr. Real lips. Hey, baby, baby. Hey, Cap Child. Hey, in through that outdoor and going through the child. How we can spirit Cookville 78. Burr on the cook. Powers Mama 9. Bring it right back round and come back to that love of mine. Snap who snaps and Lindy K is gonna go make save your bag. Save yourself, sheep will win the people. Patrick Sear. Got that Sunshine Bay. Got that Gilbert Glen. Got that Bill 45. And no win. Got that Brian Knight. In God we trust. Now nobody else gives no. Gotta censor myself until we get kicked off. West Virginia prepared, mind to love you all. Susie Q, Letitia Stoll, Sharon Tyner in the phone, love you all. TGS Source and KM, Kimmy, you should be friends. Casper Spires and Alice Crawley. Hello, Cindy Claffey, I didn't forget. Hey, amazing baby, I never forget. Jake Hale Horse, why am I in timeout? Maybe because you use super chats to ask why you're in timeout. You know what time it is? It's time to stay here and never go home. It's time to turn off the lights. Sorry about that. It looks like I broke the sound. Y'all have a good night, and you be safe, be prepared, and marf out. Make sure to go to marfooglenews.com.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle fam is waiting for you.
I don't really know what to do when there's no show. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do when you're not doing a show? Guess I'll just sit in the dark, I guess. Ooh. Is that an old piece of cheese?